What is going on? It is soon
Welcome
TM.
back.
Soon o'clock. Actually, I think it's sharp o'clock.
Did it work that time, C2?
Maybe press the left arrow. Wait, you're hitting the left arrow
You probably want to hit the
to
right
move
arrow.
forward? I don't think that's how it works. Yeah.
So maybe his
Well,
phone's
that's why you're not
broken.
getting any content, because you keep hitting reverse.
That's the only reason. We were doing content this whole time.
Yeah, you're late to the party. You missed it.
Yeah, you missed the content because you
It's
were going
gone
left.
forever.
Well, anyway.
Well, we have some more replays to look at here. We've got week 2 of our season 6 now that we'd like to take a look at, and we also, now that more of the standings are being populated and the leaderboards are having some more meaningful stats that aren't just from one game sample sizes, we are going to take a look at those as well probably at the end. I imagine we'll just do 4 replays and then the 4 docs, and then some interesting trades too. So if we get to that, I'd like to take a look at some of the trades that happened.
Yes, sir. All right, let's hop over to our first replay here. We got Stormtide versus Neon for the Truant Division.
This is a good one. So do you remember Stormtide's kind of gimmick?
Yeah, the gimmick is that you gave him this team by selling him a Pelipper when he already had a Twerkle. Or something like that.
It was something like that. Yeah, so he crowdsourced his team, and he's also crowdsourcing his sets.
Oh, I forgot.
So every week, yeah. So every week he's rolling 6 people who signed up for his little program thing. I don't know. And yeah, they're each of those 6 people. I don't think they're allowed to collaborate and like ask each other what sets the other people are bringing.
Independent sets. So wait, do you know which mons he's bringing at least?
I don't think so.
Does he like pick the mons and then everyone chooses the sets? Because what if you don't know if he's bringing the Pelipper or not? And you have the Swift Swim mon. It's like, so you just
and there's no
banking Pelipper. Oh, I hope he brought the Pelipper because I'm doing a Swift Swim set.
Well, maybe if Stormtide's here, or Stormtide, if you see this later, you can explain, I guess, actually how it works.
Yeah.
If I were to guess, I think the way it works is he rolls one person, gets that person to pick him on and a set, and then rolls another person. So, but then it's like the first person isn't going to be able to pick the Swift Swimmer because they don't know if anybody later is going to pick Pelipper. So I have no idea how it would work. So.
Well, let's see how the game played out. He still plays the game himself, though, right?
He does still play the game. He better still be playing the game himself.
That'd be some serious ghosting allegations if he had 9 people making his plays for him. Even if it's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
When they can't collaborate.
So we do see between the two, we see Neon is bringing he's got 2 kind of like defensive juggernauts, right? With Chansey, and I guess Donphan isn't really that good defensively, but
it's
Chansey, Donphan, and Latias is pretty decent.
Stat, but
yeah.
All right, maybe
and then with 2 really fast speedsters, and then Terra Entei. So if you can take a look at the Terra types here.
A lot of yapping in the chat.
That going on. Yeah. So it's normal Entei versus fighting hands. Yeah. That probably tells me it might be like a choice band Iron Hands to just try and punch holes through the team with like close combats and stuff.
Yeah.
Unless it was just a mistake. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, the person making the set might have just forgotten to tell him a Terra type. So
maybe.
The fighting.
Maybe. That's funny. So do you think that if they do forget a Terra type that he would just leave it as the stab? Probably.
They'd probably send him like a paste or something of it, in which case, like, if they forget to set it, it's just going to be the default. So like he has to just
But then the sets that are all Terra Stellar, he probably just set them himself because they can't Terra, right?
Yeah, because these ones can't be Terra captains.
Yeah. So who cares if the person submitted it? Yeah,
right. That's just a courtesy thing for the opponent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the mon that he got sent, he probably just has to take whatever Terra type it has, even if they forgot to change it. Or this is a choice band focus punch Terra fighting set.
Choice band focus punch.
Yeah. Does he get focus
It very
punch?
well could. Probably.
Because that would be like that would be a funny set that I would make him run.
It's like barely stronger than close combat though.
It's 150 and stab.
Yeah,
It would be double stab with
true.
Terra fighting. So it's like
It's 300 instead of 240.
that's 60 difference, dude. That's probably one-shotting Chansey.
Well, yeah, you don't say.
I would
I would
think. I would
sure hope
hope.
so. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
we do see is that's Terra normal Entei, right?
Yeah, so probably E-speed.
Yeah. So yeah, I think in week one he brought extreme speed, and it was also normal.
Was it
It's just
banded
kind
or
of a good
was it just
set.
like
I don't think it was banded. I think it was just like yeah, it was just like extra damage on the extreme speed. It's a good set, honestly. I mean, and it's what makes other mons like Lucario really strong, and a lot of the
Dragonite.
reason why Dragonite's really busted.
Yeah. I mean, Dragonite's busted even without Terra.
Yeah,
Being
true.
able to Terra makes it that much more.
Yeah. And then yeah, for Stormtide's side, we do see that the Terra fighting, and we see the Sun Core. You can call it a core if you want, with Screamtail Chiyu on top of the Torkoal.
Yeah, it is a
And
core. It's
then the
officially
Double
a core. It
Dragons.
has 3 mons.
It is 3 mons. Yep. And what do we call the other core? We'll call it something funny.
What are the, wait, compared to what?
So if there's a Sun Core, what are the other 3?
Oh, well, are we implying now that every group of 3 mons is a core of some kind? I would say that
Sure.
a core needs to be at least 3 mons. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is a core. I mean, we have Steel, Dragon, and could be Terra Fairy. So it is your.
Oh,
that
it
is a
makes an
core.
FDS core, right? The
Yeah.
Fighting Dragon Steel Core?
It's just that he has to be Terra into Fairy
Yeah.
if he wants to be a Fairy Dragon Steel core.
No,
Yeah, it
it's
is still
Fighting Dragon
FDS.
Steel.
It is FDS still.
Yeah.
True.
It's actually FDDS.
Oh, true. He has double dragon. Yeah, you're really getting a lot of use out of your steel type, not being a fairy resist or an ice resist for your dragon.
Yeah. That's great.
Hey, but
Definitely
you can
the purpose of
Terra
this.
fighting, choice band, focus punch, whatever ice types come your way. So, and you might
True,
even do like
actually.
50% to a fairy as well, even with the resist.
You might, especially if it's like a
300 base
comfy
power. Yeah.
with your focus punch. Yeah, I don't know if CC would break. Definitely focus.
No, but we're talking about focus. I mean, this set
Yeah.
is clearly gonna be focus punch. It's just the better
That's
move.
true.
It's higher base power.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so if I were to guess, I feel like Torkoal is just the best lead for Stormtide, kind of hands down. I guess
You don't
Chomp is
think
also
maybe
pretty good.
hands down would probably be the hand.
Oh, all right, it's hands. It's got to be hands.
Yeah.
When
Also,
you see
it
like
depends
a
on
probable
Screamtail set too. Screamtail could just come out and like
Hmm.
maybe set rocks or like screens or something
true.
just to scout as well. Because
Yeah,
you got a
actually,
lot of
maybe
options
Screamtail
over
makes
here.
sense.
Screamtail
Maybe
just kind of
Screamtail
like
makes sense
lets
because
you
it's
check.
pretty decent into the bundle and the Meow. It kind of isn't
Yeah.
threatened too much by either of them.
Yeah, I think it's a
Um,
better. I think it's a more neutral option because then you can just
Yeah,
like,
get some-
you can even baton
get some
pass
rock
out
depth.
turn 1 and just like just see what they're doing. You'll be slower
True.
than a Meow pivot, and slower than a flip turn from bundle as well. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and taking damage. Oh,
What
there
is
is the scream.
Screamtail?
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking some damage here. Oh, SPA.
Wait, it was
Instead
just
of speed.
booster.
It's booster special attack.
It's
Don't you need
booster
like
special
full
attack.
investment for that?
Well, but it's also funny that why booster on the Sunday? It's like the one thing that you have.
Yeah, true. Wait a minute.
Then
Yeah, hold on,
again,
I gotta.
the people did not collaborate for this, so maybe they didn't know Torkoal was coming, and they really wanted to build
true.
the booster special attack set. Actually, kind of smart. If you don't know what the rest of the mons on the team are, it's kind of smart because you don't waste your booster set, but also you get it when the sun comes out. So you can still have your set dedicated to it even after using booster turn 1.
So you actually need negative speed investment with plus speed nature in order to get this boost
With
at all.
special attack nature.
Yeah, sorry, plus special attack. You need your even with no investment, your speed and special defense are both still higher than your special attack.
Well, I think the bigger issue is that your special attack is 50 or 60. I think is it 60?
65.
65, yeah.
So you need
shows small.
24 speed EVs and hold on.
Wait, no, why would you be investing any EVs in speed?
and 16 SPDEF EVs. IVs, not EVs.
IVs, okay.
24 IVs in each of them would make them exactly 251 and let
And
your
absolutely
special attack
maxed out
tie.
special attack, yeah.
Yeah. And when it ties, special attack is just the first in order, right? So it'll
Yeah.
it'll prioritize that for the booster. I guess it could
Actually, I
also
didn't
be
know that's
minus
how that works.
speed. Yeah, it's just like Beast Boost, where it'll just go in chronological order. So if your attack and defense are the same, you'll get an attack boost
Yeah.
just because it's the first stat.
Speed's last. Speed's the slowest stat.
Yep. Yeah, if you want a speed boost, you have to be one higher than special attack. So I mean, like I was trying to think maybe this is like a trick room angle where it's quiet, maybe with like minus
Could
speed,
be.
maybe is kind of interesting. I don't know.
I'm thinking it's not going to be rocks or baton pass with the booster speed set though.
It's life or
It is trick
meow,
room.
and there's the trick room,
It just
and it
sets the trick
switches
room.
out.
Goodbye booster energy, I guess. Here we go. Terra fighting focus punch. No,
Bonk.
close combo.
CC. Now,
I
is this
mean,
even slower yet or no?
oh,
Oh,
he got red carded out. Screamtail's back,
goodbye.
and it's slower than Screamtail. Kills the Dawn fan though.
Okay, Ice Beam. This is
Yeah, that's
definitely
what I guess a
offensive.
Torkoal could be. Probably not.
Oh, gets the Trailblaze on the last turn of Trick Room. This is nice. Yeah, and you'll get one more
What a side
guaranteed
shot.
Sacred Fire here. That's
Get a
pretty
burn.
free to fire
Crit.
into this.
Crit burn. Jesus.
Oh man. Because I mean, you're not gonna, you
Still
really don't want to
kills.
switch out, right, from the Terra Fighting hands. So
Yeah.
hitting that and taking that 50-50 is really nice.
That's still so much damage from the burn. I guess it's terrifying though. It could be banded too.
Lava Plume does nothing.
Ruination
Ruination.
actually is kind of funny. It's actually kind of good at the chance at least to chip it
I
down
would
a little
hope that
bit.
it has taunt here. I think it has taunt.
Now it's just gonna keep clicking Ruination. It dies to the side.
It does have access to taunt, and it doesn't click it.
I'm
But I
thinking
guess even if
Torkoal
it clicked,
doesn't
it
have
wouldn't
spin.
matter.
If it's not coming out yet.
Hmm.
Oh, this is Mega Chomp. I forgot about that.
Three,
Oh my
four.
god!
Ooh, 4 hits with 2 crits.
4 hits, double crit. By the way, the bad guys are not holding loaded dice either. And
Scarf Latias.
yeah,
Wait, this game's almost over. What? I didn't even realize. Okay, this can probably take
acid
it though.
armor,
Acid armor.
nasty plot.
Nasty plot. Oh, this is what?
It's a special
Okay, but this doesn't. Meow doesn't do any.
power gem. You're doing
17.
more damage to yourself with life orb than you're doing body press up.
Okay.
1%. 1%.
Oh, I have so much to say about this, but I feel like we have to do like a play-by-play. So let's just see how this goes. Toxic misses. What? Okay, hits, but it is. I'm assuming natural cure.
It just stays in there. I was gonna say, why not just
Okay, but it's dead.
why not just iron defense again? Like instead of the toxic on that person, you iron defense again. You definitely kill with the body press.
Yeah. Aura Sphere kills.
What's Torkoal gonna do here? Can it win? Aura Sphere.
Maybe Toxic Rest,
Ooh.
but that's kind of it.
Flamethrower inside. Get a burn now.
That does nothing. And I imagine that's probably it. Oh wow, wait. It actually does do a lot more than I thought it would do.
It was in Sun. Might be specs.
In Sun, but yeah, that's definitely an offensive Torkoal.
It is choice
okay,
specs.
wow. Okay, we really have to wrap our heads around that. What just happened? So the Iron Hands got burned on the Entei. Honestly, even if hands doesn't get burned there, it's probably still the right play to take that. Because otherwise you're just switching into what, your Latias on your Scarf Latias on the Terra fighting banded hands. That's probably a 2-hit kill. So that was definitely good from Neon. We saw. How did these rocks get up? Did Donphan rock?
Donphan did when in front of Screamtail.
On the Screamtail. Oh right, the Trailblaze in the Trick Room. Oh, there's so much happened. Okay, let's go back a few turns to look at. I guess since the Screamtail was in.
So like turn 3.
No. Here.
The second time it comes in, you mean?
Okay, right after this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just crazy damage. The red card with the rocks is strong.
Yeah.
This Donphan's done a lot of work, got a lot of chip. This Trailblaze is good. It stops Garchomp from being the revenge. Well, Garchomp can still revenge, but like you really don't want it
You
to
just
get
don't want to get
burned.
burned, yeah.
We don't want this to get burned either, so maybe Garchomp is actually the revenge. Because both are bad, but Chomp always lives one from Entei.
Yeah.
Probably lives two, actually.
Though
The
if
burn is bad.
let's say that the burn happens at the same time, does a quake from Garchomp kill Entei there? I mean, because Entei he wasn't Terra
What percent
yet.
was it at?
Is it like 80 something or
It wasn't
72?
Terra yet, no, but it definitely would be
It would
Terra.
Terra in front of Garchomp, and if he got burned, like there's no way he's killing at 72% compared to
Yeah.
the only reason he killed through the burn is because he's Terra fighting banded adamant Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah, so maybe actually Chomp isn't the play
yeah.
because Entei can Terra. Bundle Revenge just makes sense. You don't want the chip on Meow.
So what I'm curious about though is so you bring in this I guess you're coming in because of the ice beam. So far you don't technically know his set yet. Maybe that calc only kills if it's specs or something. Um, but your Torkoal hasn't come in yet. And I didn't mean to go all the way to the beginning. Your Torkoal hasn't come in yet, and you have rocks up, and we now know it's specs spin, which isn't ideal, but it does have
Interesting.
spin. It has spin. These rocks are already up, and the only moves that it has are eruption as your only hazard remover, by the way, on specs, uh,
Okay.
and flamethrower, body press, and rapid spin was the set. You already know you're not killing Latios with that set. Chansey,
Right.
you know that you have a different body press mon that can kill Chansey. You also have a physical
Yeah.
attacker. Bundle, again, like you have a different body press mon, and also you still have a 4 times weak ice mon if you're thinking that this is a choiced iron bundle into ice beam, and that's what he clicks. You still would have another chance to bring Chi-Yu in, but good news, you don't have to come in on rocks if you've already cleared the rocks. I think you take this opportunity to get rid of these rocks. The Donphan's dead. They wouldn't be up for the rest of the game, but instead, all these
Yeah.
mons
Keep
take
some
rocks
HP on
for the
Chi.
rest of the game.
Yeah, I
And
think an even simpler explanation for going Torkoal instead of Chi there is that
you have the body press.
Torkoal doesn't do anything anymore.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, like I
Right.
mean, maybe you think like, oh, like it could be good for Meowscarada, right? But as we saw, like the Gutra, I mean, it turns out that the Gutra countered it. I don't know if it was intended, but even if it was a physical attacking Meow and your acid armor, like as long as you get like a turn ahead of it, like it's not gonna Oko you with anything, and then you always Oko it with body press. Like I feel like the fact that this Gutra is still alive and 100%, it beats everything that Torkoal beats here. There's no reason for Torkoal not to just come in and spin.
Yep. I think I agree. Other than the fact that maybe a Hydro Pump kills even through Sun.
Yeah, but
I
like,
have a feeling that it
does it also
doesn't.
kill Chi-Yu? Like, I mean, it probably doesn't kill. It
It
probably doesn't
wouldn't kill
kill. It
Chi-Yu.
doesn't kill either of them, I should say. But at that point, it's
Well,
like
it
you're
would
still
kill
taking that
Chi-Yu.
risk,
It would probably kill Chi-Yu outside of Sun,
which is what he just put it in on.
which is what he did, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if your thought is Chi-Yu because he's choiced into Ice Beam right now, which I'm assuming is like what he's guessing here is that he's choiced into Ice Beam. Here's a free
Yeah.
Chi-Yu entry, which really doesn't get you that much value while Chansey's still alive, by the way. Like he's
Yep.
still full health Chansey over there. Wait, did Chansey put? Oh, Chansey put the rocks up. It wasn't Donphan that put the rocks up.
Hmm.
So maybe
Chi
rocks
was
do come back up.
AV.
When did Chansey? Oh, it put them up on the first turn trick room.
Oh, I thought it was Donphan that got them in front of Swingtail, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I thought so too. Interesting. Well, either
I
way,
mean,
I still
regardless,
think clearing
I don't think
Rockstar
the
is a
play
better
was
idea.
spin.
Yeah.
I don't think the play was spin, regardless.
You
I
don't think
think
the play was
the
spin?
no, well,
Or
I
you don't
think
think it was
the
Chi-Yu?
Torkoal set is just so bad that it doesn't matter what you click. It's a bad option. So I guess technically it is spin, but like I don't think that really matters because Chansey just comes in on Torkoal anyways
Yeah, because then
and
it
just
would
sets
just
them
put the
again.
rocks up. Yeah, but you do have body press, so maybe if you're calling out the Chansey, I mean, Stormtime's probably more aware of who set the rocks than
I
we
mean, it's
were in this
Terra
replay.
though.
Yeah, but if it swaps it, your choice, you have to click one move anyway, so you'd be calling out the Chansey coming in and clicking body press. And actually, really, even if you are incorrect in the call out, you still have a fighting weak mon here, right? I think I actually changed my mind. I think that bringing in Torkoal here and just clicking body press is a better play. Then again, though, was that
How
Torkoal
much do you think the
invested in
body press
defense?
does? No. How much do you think the
It
body
was
press
not. It
does?
was HP special attack, so probably not that much.
Torkoal
Because
versus
Torkoal has a high
Chansey.
defense stat, so I was gonna say if he's actually
It's
invested in
like
defense, but
it's like high, but it's not that high.
isn't it like 130 or something, 120?
140.
140?
Body press to
That's still
Chansey
okay.
does 29 to 34
If it's fully defense invested.
with 0 defense.
Well,
If
I'm
it's
saying,
full
yeah, I forgot that he
full
wasn't full
defense,
defense, but that's
full defense does 38 to 45
well,
before Terra.
still doesn't even beat it. Yeah.
So that's why
Maybe
I'm
just
saying
don't
like there
put
was
choice
no right
specs on the
play
Torkoal with body press and rapid spin.
into Chansey Latias.
Yeah, it's funny though. It was also quiet nature. Do we got two quiet? Just by chance, these two independently crafted mons both had quiet nature. Oh, and the Gudra was serious nature,
Hop
so they
said
forgot the nature on Gudra, so that's nice.
Hop said in chat this Torkoal set was his set and they built around him. So
Oh, so they all see the
so
Torkoal
it
set.
looks like they know what the sets are going in.
So the previous set though, like if they go in order.
I don't know.
Like if he's saying that if Skyhops made the first submission, they got to build around Skyhops. So maybe each mon you see like what the previous person has already built so far. Oh, the Screamtail Skyhops did.
Oh, the Screamtail. He said the first set. Isn't Torkoal the first set?
They're the first submission. Skyhops was the first submission to the team. Maybe Stormtide didn't do them in the same order, right? Like they might have just all sent them independently or something, and then
It's the first submission to the team, but then the fourth mon on the roster. That just feels weird.
he might have just put them in different orders.
I see what
like
you're saying now, but
yeah.
but that did just trip me out.
Oh, they're named after the set creators.
Yeah.
I did see the Eager 99. I thought that was just like a joke. They just named Eager 99. Yeah, wow, they are. Oh, Lee built this. Lee made the most. I think the strongest mon here.
Doesn't it feel weird though to like add the 6 Pokemon to the team and then intentionally shuffle them around for no reason other than to be not in the right order?
I don't know.
It just feels weird. Okay, so
Either way,
scratch
though,
that then. Who made the Torkoal set? You suck. No, I'm kidding.
It was Eager 99.
Bro, you're gonna bring Specs Torkoal into Chansey Latias. Entei.
Specs Torkoal with 2 special flying fire attacks and 2 physical attacks. And one of the special flying attacks, why am I keep flying? Fire attacks is eruption on your hazard removal mon that isn't holding boots. That's also weak to rocks.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. I mean, I get what the idea was. My set was fire. I think you shouldn't have led his all. No, I agree. The booster special attack kind of got thrown.
What I said at the beginning was like, oh, I kind of like it, like under the assumption that you guys don't see each other's sets, which I guess technically Skyhops did not see the rest of the sets.
True.
When this was built. But I was like, oh, well then it can at least come back in on Sun later. Then Torkoal was the last Pokemon out. It did not hit the field until every other Pokemon was dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if this was on purpose or if they just forgot to set a nature.
Are there any physical attacks on Gudra?
No, because just body press.
Well, don't know what to tell you.
And
they just wanted to take more damage from a foul
Life
play.
2 might have actually let it outpace some of the seismic tosses. Or no, wait, how much?
Seismic toss definitely not. Toss would do more than a quarter of its health.
How much was it do? It was like 30 something, 27. It's 2% more, yeah.
With leftovers, I guess technically you would heal like 4% per turn.
I don't think it is lefties though.
No, it's not. Okay, something else I wanted to talk about. So who made the? Oh, I was gonna ask who made the Meowscarada set, but Leon made the Meowscarada set.
A lot of people viewing this one. because they were all
So
invested.
so Neon made a nasty plot um meow. I feel like nasty plot meow, you don't want to be um what's it called?
These are the
Protean.
only moves.
Like when it clicked the rock move, well, I mean, first of all, Power Gem is not going to break a Suin Gudra. But when it clicked the
Yeah,
Power Gem, it was non-stab, 80 base power, like random coverage move. That's probably
yeah.
pretty
It's
bad.
probably
And
for
it
all
would
the
be the
fire
same.
types, but
It would be the same with what's it called? Overgrow anyways, right? So
yeah. Well, what I was gonna wonder is it was shell armor. Okay. I was gonna say because you do kind of put yourself in a situation where if Hisuian Gudra comes to the game and it's Sap Sipper, you the only button you can press is Power Jump, which is it wasn't Sap Sipper, but that was the situation that Neon found himself in was Meowscarada
it
face
didn't
him
have a
down.
dark move?
Nope. So I was gonna say actually like with the Proteans, like yeah, I agree, it's probably not optimal there, but at least Nasty Plot turns you dark, which you're already dark, and you probably have decent Dark Stab. Didn't bring Dark Stab, so
Hmm.
maybe it was because the Protean U-turn just immediately makes you think that it's just a Choice Scarf set, or I mean, or
I guess. But
just a
then it
Choice
reveals the
Statue.
orb.
True, yeah, it did. It did reveal the orb, and it's modest nature, so it's minus attack, which means you can probably calc that as well. And see, that's zero attack investment minus nature.
True. Well, hey, you know what? Despite all this, and
Debatably
despite all
worse
of Sword
set
Tide's bad sets,
than part of
yeah,
these.
it was still a pretty close game. It was very fast.
It was
It
very
felt like I couldn't catch
How
up
many
to like
turns was that?
say my any words
125.
about each of the plays. But I mean, hey, Stormtide made it close. The Garchomp and the Iron Hands almost came through, and the Gudra also was really threatening.
Yeah, apparently
Nothing
that was a
else
roll.
really
That
did
1%.
anything.
The 1%
Yeah,
on
that one
Chansey was
percent.
a
Yeah,
roll. I don't know if it was a high
unfortunately.
roll or a
So
low roll, but
I think usually when people say a roll,
no, I mean, sorry, I don't
oh, you
know
mean
if it was
like a
like a
high
close
percentage?
roll. Like yeah, like
Oh,
it was
okay,
a high percentage of the chance to kill.
gotcha. Well,
But good
could
game.
you show some of the sets? I didn't get
That's
to see
right.
the
I guess I didn't
Garchomp
have
set.
the I didn't have them open on here. So
So the
Garchomp,
Garchomp was, I know it was scale shot. It was just SD with
Drake. It
Draco.
was mixed.
Hmm.
Naughty natures. That's minus Spadef or minus defense.
Minus defense plus attack,
Interesting.
which usually makes sense if you're running scale shot because you're
Yeah.
dumping defense anyways.
Right.
Might be tough into like a Donphan Ice Shard. Did Donphan have Ice Shard?
A
No, Ice
spinner.
Spinner.
But even
Hmm.
still, like if you're prepping that, which I guess Afonso prepped this, like that is something that you probably look at in Builder, see what that
True.
range is. Um,
True.
I'm just gonna scroll
Well,
back through these
GG.
because I didn't have the chat open when I was going through
Yeah, we
this.
didn't actually like look at them.
What was the rest of the Chiyu? Overheat,
Overheat
lava
as
plume,
its fire
dark
move.
pulse,
Oh, it has lava
motivation.
plume, and it was
Yeah,
assault
it
vest.
clicked lava plume on the Chansey, and it was
I have no
AV.
idea
Yeah,
what the AV would be for Latios, maybe for bundle. Maybe it lives
maybe
a pump
bundle.
from bundle.
Actually, I wonder how much AV because it's 56 SPDF too. Can you calc 56 SPDF Chi AV in Sun versus like a Specs Hydro Pump from bundle? I'd be curious to see like if it even does 50%.
You said 52 SPDF,
56.
56. Okay, in Sun, a Hydro Pump does 36 to 43.
Wow. From Specs bundle.
No,
Oh, I want to know what it is with Specs. It's not like the set. I don't think was Specs. Actually, didn't even check.
no.
Oh, it is
Well,
Specs. It
I don't
was a
know.
Specs bundle. It was a Specs bundle.
In
But I was
Sun,
just
it
curious if
does
it.
55 to 66,
Okay, so it's still two KOs.
but it wouldn't have killed after rocks.
Yeah. Clearly, that's what uh Drix had in mind when he was throwing
Surely,
at you.
surely.
All right. Next up, we got another replay. This one is Stella versus I forget who. I'm totally not seeing this. It's not
Glittering
Satan.
Atlas.
Okay, yeah, Glittering Atlas.
Hmm.
All right, let's see the Terra types
Yeah,
here.
so this is our Swarm Division replay. If I remember correctly, it's kind of a bit of a slog, so we probably want to try and get through
Oh,
it. Yeah. So we see Terra Grass Heatran.
I don't know the captains on Stella's team.
Um,
Wait,
it's Grass Heatran. It's everything that doesn't
is
have a
Celebi a Terra
stab.
captain?
No. Everything that doesn't have a stab type.
Is Celebi psychic grass?
Are you asking
I know
Psychic
those are
Grass
the
as
two
opposed to Grass
as opposed to
Psychic?
grass psychic because I thought it was grass psychic
Maybe.
because usually it defaults to the first type. So that's why I wasn't sure with Celebi if it was a captain or not.
No, it's not.
So it's just Heatran and these two.
What's UBW abridged?
UB what?
Unlimited
Abridged
Blade
unit.
Works? I don't know what that is. Adbridged. I'm not sure what
So
that is,
is it
Pablo.
supposed to
Is
be
that Pobby? It might be
DBZ and
Pobby.
just like offset by the the wrong letters?
No, no way.
DBZ Mr. Satan. I don't know.
Oh well. Anyways, yep. So those are the captains. We probably, if I were to guess, I mean, Slowking Galore is a very safe lead for Atlas here, but into Garchomp, it could be a problem. Everything else, it's
Gliscor.
probably fine
Gliscor
into.
could work too.
This is Mega Diancie, by the way.
Yep.
Gliscor, I feel like is a good switch in on turn one to let it
Yeah.
not get knocked by Mawile. But you don't want to be switching in from Slowking because then you will get knocked.
Yeah. I'd be curious if it was like a
Maybe see a
protect, if
Diancie
it had
lead.
protect on it and just you protect turn one to guarantee it. But
Yeah, that's true. I could see a Diancie lead actually. Good into Chomp, good into Celebi, or sorry, not Celebi, Umbreon.
horrible into Mawile though.
Yeah, but it's really bad in everything else. Honestly, there's not too great of a lead. You might just have to lead Gliscor.
Could also be like a U-turn, just like a fast pivot, Thundy, right? Just
Yeah, it's still also
slip its
outsped by
pivot on.
Chomp though.
Yeah.
Assuming Chomp went for it though, it has to
Is
invest
this
fully
Mega
in
Chomp
speed.
or
So.
regular Chomp?
I think it's regular because it's Mega Mawile.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. It is Thundy.
We do see the Thundy,
Into the
there we go.
Mawile. So good thing it didn't.
and we've got the
fancy.
technology to zoom in here
Any
too.
U-turns. Oh yeah, we do have the technology. Goes into the Gliscor. So is this the
There we
knock?
go.
No, it wasn't. Okay. Ooh, we got the
But that still
poison
does
rock on
50.
the play rough.
No way. If it does 50 though, you can't actually like. Okay, the attack drop is kind of salt in the
yeah.
wound, but the fact that the recent generation like nerf to
Not
healing
really
moves,
do anything there.
true. I guess now Diancie can't click Heal Bell without dropping Gliscor's poison now.
Yeah, like that attack drop is really rough for those earthquakes for sure.
Yeah, Gliscor would have 2-hit killed there.
Like, are you waiting for a miss? Like, is that?
Yeah,
Like,
you do
I don't
have
know
a
if you want to waste all your PP on that.
Yeah, you have a couple turns to play with, but you definitely don't want to just throw all your PP here. You definitely want to
You
just
don't even
attack.
2-hit KO
One more
with
roost is fine.
Quick.
No, you've got a EQ twice in a row here.
Yeah, because you will survive one more. Hey, dude, did you just coach?
Probably. I think it was doing 56, so it might have been a roll
It clicks
to
roost that
die.
doesn't quick again.
Oh,
You could just take Mawa right here.
you know what though? I like
Maybe
that
they're expecting
roost
it swapping
after.
out. Yeah, because now it does.
It was playing for the swap and playing for the sucker punch.
Oh, the roost was yeah, because you could die to that. Though he has knock though. Do you think he's running sucker punch on top of that and not like SD and then some?
It's definitely not likely. It's not like you have like an Azelf or something you need it for to like pick off. So
yeah, though I feel like if it were SD, we would have seen it at some point.
Yeah, that was an SD. Probably just 4 attacks.
Yeah.
Because Aqua Step does negative damage.
Yeah. Celebi. Wait, hold on. We'll find out. It is Psychic Grass. Wow.
There we go. The more you know. Okay, with the natural cure, protect the toxic doesn't do anything there. Maybe it toxics again here. Yeah.
Toxic here, yeah.
You got to be
I don't know what
careful
the
of
plan
the
is.
synchronize.
On who? Oh,
The Umbreon.
Umbreon. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like toxic is going to be a really predictable thing next time anything that's not poisoned comes in. Like if Quack is in next time, for example, you can switch to the Umbreon on that toxic.
Yeah. Though I'm wondering why the Garchomp here. Because it's just another physical attacker. You can probably calc off of the Quack that it's physically defensive. You're not killing it. It might be
Yeah, I
running
mean
ice
it's
coverage or
like
scald or something like. I don't know why Garchomp came in there, unless you're
yeah,
predicting a
that's like
double
a
switch.
four
But
hit
there's really
KO.
no. I guess maybe the only reason would be if, because it was a double switch, right? Or no, wait, it was a U-turn.
No, just switched
Or
on the
was
protect.
okay? Oh, it was the next turn. Okay, yeah, yeah. So maybe you're expecting a swap because you're a grass type, but it's a Terra Captain, right? What was the Terra?
For Suicune?
It was Terra Fairy, yeah. So the Terra Fairy, yeah, Terra Fairy Suicune too. Like, I don't know why Garchomp's coming in here. Even if you are calling out a like that switch, like, do
Well, I mean,
you
Garchomp
think?
doesn't care if it's water or fairy type. Earthquake does the same damage.
I know, but it could be, I guess it probably isn't Terra Blast on this set if it's
If it's gonna have a
toxic
move for
fairy.
Garchomp, it's gonna be Ice Beam, not
Yeah.
Terra Blast. Although
Um.
I guess Terra Blast is okay for Quack.
Yeah.
But like it would much rather toxic all of these things, I think.
Yeah. But either way, I still I'm wondering if like maybe Stella was thinking like an Arctozolt swap for the like I don't know, like I don't know who, like what this
No.
is for on this weekend. Because even if you don't think it double toxics, like presses toxic again, there's not a lot of moves that you want to take from a Suicune as Garchomp, right? Like,
Yeah.
is okay. Well, got an extra turn of healing, I guess there.
Yeah. Yummy
Magma
healing.
Storm.
Okay, the good old
Ooh,
wait, this is Terra Grass Balloon.
curious.
I'd like to see Taunt on Magma Storm sets that are trying to trap like Slowking
A
and stuff.
Cloaking, yeah,
But
for
getting
sure.
rocks up is like completely fine.
Could be like a move slot issue, yeah, because you have the Terra Blast Grass. Doesn't Terra this, so it must be saving this Terra.
Oh, with the crazy Magma Storm
Wow.
snipe though.
Wait, who is it?
That's an insane turn.
The Protect. Yeah, so I guess you're calling out the swap. Then again, you also know that this Suicune cannot pivot. So
Yeah.
clicking Magma Storm there, even if you get it wrong, because it could toxic you. You're already Terra Grass, right? You're not immune to toxic anymore. It could just be calling out that the Suicune stays in because it's a possibility, but also covering for a swap onto something else that doesn't want to get Magma Storm, because Cloaking can't come
Yeah.
in on Magma Storm again, right? Like I guess it regened.
Sure can.
So, yeah, it regened, so it can. But it still doesn't want to keep coming in on rocks and Magma Storm.
Yeah.
So either way, I think. But again, you don't resist the grass either, and you take 75% from rocks, or 75. Yeah, you
I'm
take
not too
25.
I don't necessarily agree with the Arctozolt switch, but
Yeah.
I think the Magma Storm click was fine. Because even if
No,
Suicune does it and then
that's what
wants
I
to
was saying.
toxic you, you're
That's what I
just
was saying
making
is
that
that we
trade.
know that it has to hard pivot, so like it would actually get trapped, and then you just click your Turbo's Grass again, and if it protects, you just wait one more turn. It's taking Magma Storm chip, then you click it again. So I'm with you. I'm saying that I don't know what that like call out was for, because you're not even resisting the Terra Grass. Is what I'm saying. Like you're not resisting. It's not a Dragon type like the other Draco and Arcto. So it's like you would just be taking that full on Terra Blast Grass, even if you were correct in the call out. And I don't know if it wants to take that after also taking rocks. You know what I mean? But
Oh, I know what you mean.
yeah. So yeah. So this was revenge though. I mean not revenge, but like it came in after this ult died. So dead.
Yeah, that's a revenge.
Oh, Black Score came in, and then you turned.
Just pops the balloon. I guess that's fine.
It's fine. It's super effective. You're immune to flame body with the toxic. Flash cannon. Chili reception out again.
3 attacks, rocks. I guess that kind of makes sense. The flash cannon is for Diancie. I
Yeah.
feel like your Terra Blast kind of covers that, though, actually.
There could be a roll.
You definitely just die here to a Moonblast, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Sad.
Oh, Scarf Chomp?
Immune. Well, let's find out. Does
Or
it
maybe
swap out right
Roselli,
here?
actually.
There it goes. It might be
Yeah,
Scarf.
looking like
Let's find out.
Scarf.
Oh,
Switches in on the
came
spikes
up
for
a
Mawile.
turn too late. Here we go. We're back to turn 1 or whatever this was.
I don't know why it's
Do we get an
roosting, though.
attack drop instantly? Yep.
Oh my god.
Not that it matters for 8%.
No reason to roost there. I think you just Earthquake always.
I think the reason might be what you were thinking before with the Sucker Punch. What was it at? I guess it wasn't
If it
even
didn't
low
click
enough to really
Sucker
be
Punch,
scared.
if it didn't click Sucker Punch earlier in the game when Mawile was this
Yeah.
low and Gliscor was at like 20%, there's no way it has it.
And also, there's a chance you just put spikes up again, too.
True. Yeah, if you're making that call out, I think you can just get another layer.
Yeah. Because you don't need the healing. I mean, you'll still get healing. Well, Mawile's dead. Then you're -1 attack again.
Goodbye. It's about time, though, that Mawile burned through
Probably
how
a
much?
spinner here.
How many roost PP?
It's a lot.
There's only one left.
Down to 1, yeah. Aqua Step's a no
Aqua
spin.
Step does nothing, though.
I guess it's not a spin.
Probably another Toxic here. And here's the Synchronize.
Yeah.
And it does happen.
Dope.
And there's no move slots left on Suicune for rest, right? It was... What were the moves on it?
On what? So we can... We've
Yeah.
only seen
Oh, we've only seen Toxic Tech. So it could still have rest. The
could
fact that
still
it's
have
switched
rest.
out, though, makes me think it doesn't.
Yeah. Everyone's talking.
Okay, it's actually boot sloking. I didn't realize that before.
I didn't either.
Well, the Outrage
doesn't
is
kill.
eventually going to get the kill, but Diancie's going to come in here.
It is scarfed.
Diancie
What?
doesn't come in here.
Okay. Here's my thought. Gliscor does not beat any of the... It doesn't beat Quack. It
has no more
immunes-
roost, right?
I'm gonna have one more still. It did.
Yeah.
But it only beats this if it chooses into Quake. If you swap to Diancie immediately and he immunes it, he can swap out. He's no longer locked into the move. But by taking the KO here, he's still locked into Outrage. He takes toxic damage. He has to use it again on Diancie. You actually get a free turn with Diancie here instead of swapping into Diancie, and then he can swap out. So Garchomp's dead. So if the only thing that Gliscor was left to counter was the Garchomp, by him locking into Outrage, you are still guaranteeing that this Garchomp dies.
That's true. I do think that Chomp is only getting like one more attack off anyways, and you still have a fairy and a flying to run a 50-50.
But if it's Scarf,
and
though,
I don't know. So like, I don't know
it's
if
just playing it
Chomp.
safe.
I don't know if like killing Chomp is worth your Gliscor, considering Gliscor can heal up in front of Umbreon. But it's like, considering the
Yeah.
fact that you only have one roost left, like maybe that's kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
Maybe
what
this
the
is
rest
the right
of the
play.
game plan is for.
No, maybe this is the right play, honestly, and just make sure that Chomp dies.
Yeah.
Well, okay, just to be clear though, you only make sure that Chomp the if he gets the 3-turn Outrage, right? Because this is the 3rd turn.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
but he does take the extra turn of the toxic chip there too.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Which I guess he
really
he
matter.
would have taken that on the immune as well.
Yeah.
But either way, he is.
Yeah, like either way, it was banking Gliscor's life on a 50-50 of whether Chomp would get a 2 or 3-turn Outrage.
Nasty.
Maybe I don't really like that play anymore. The plot, though, the fact that this isn't clicking Sludge Bomb makes me think it doesn't have it. This is probably U-turns here. It does
Yeah.
a lot of damage.
Just back into the Glow King.
Yep. Ooh,
Interesting,
ouch.
though. That does a lot.
You might have to just sack this.
Oh well, he.
Yeah, well, he did sack it. Technically, it's
Yeah.
just...
But
Stella
now, I mean,
didn't
now
take
Celebi's
the-
kind of in a bad spot, and also with the
Well, it takes
snow
the
up, you
U-turn.
can't even. Oh, it's recover. It's not synthesis. So synthesis.
Yep. That weather ball almost sniped it though. That's a well-timed weather ball. The
Yeah.
thing is, the U-turn does pretty much the same damage. And you only have now one more. Oh wait, but how much did it
Yeah.
do? It actually would have killed after that recover.
The U-turn or the weather ball? The
The
weather
weather
ball did
ball.
more, right? Yeah.
Yeah. How much did this first one do?
Well, it was at
Did like 60,
85% and
right?
it ended up at like 8%, so 7%. Yeah,
Oh
that
wow,
actually
almost
that kills
80.
after the recover.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's big.
So well, that's clearly I think why this will be swapped out too. To be fair,
Yeah, I agree with this switch into Umbreon. I don't think
it's
Umbreon
got to
does
be
too much for
choiced
you.
though. Wait, so that if that Thundy's choiced, he comes in one more time on rocks.
Yes. Which might be the game plan for Celebi.
Maybe ice beam.
Okay, the
Oh my
wish here, the
god!
1% wish.
Back to
There we
full.
go, and now it's out of Weather Ball range again.
But now Thundy can only do this one more time. Thundy just dies to
Yeah.
whatever it clicks.
But
Eh,
yeah, I like this. No, I like this. It dies to, or sorry,
what's
the
the
Celebi doesn't die, but now it's at higher HP. If it had stayed in and just killed the Thundy, then the game is over because Diancie just cleans.
Oh wait, yeah,
Because
because now
Celebi
he's
would have taken
locked into
80.
Weather Ball, so Quack can just come in and click anything,
Exactly.
get like a speed boost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, Quack comes
Quack
in,
puts
tries to
Aqua
Aqua
Step.
Step. The problem is there's still a
Suicune. Well, it's
Suicune here.
toxic though. We just don't know if it's rest yet. How many Aqua
Yeah,
Steps? So
you
that is
just click this
pressure on all three
until.
Aqua Steps. So it's running out of Aqua Steps.
Oh, true. It only has 5.
Bulk up.
Oh, it's not choice
What
though.
about toxic though? Yeah, it's just you still have to get through 4 Mons.
CC. Okay, no Moxie.
Hmm. He does that. I mean, that's smart. Denying the Moxie. Do you even Oko
This
here?
might have
No. You don't
Psychic.
even two hit KO. Actually,
No
reception.
Psychic.
Did we see? I thought we saw a second. No, we only saw Ice Beam.
Suicune can protect here. This is where you
Yeah.
bulk.
No.
Yeah, and now you won't have enough
Gotta
damage
bulk
to
there.
break Slowking. But I
And
honestly, I don't
maybe
think
it's
you would anyways.
roost. Yeah, you still died at toxic though soon. Well, okay, so we can also die that
That's
turn.
not a bad roost.
Yeah,
But the problem is you don't get a Moxie boost from that either.
yeah. The question is, so this is a full health Celebi. I think it still 1v1s the Glowking, right? Because the Glowking wasn't even doing 50% with Ice Beam, correct?
Potentially.
So you
Yeah,
click
but I
Nasty
think it was
Plot. Once
doing
you have Nasty
50-ish.
Plot and recovers, I think you do actually outpace the Glowking. So if the Glowking is the only thing that you're worried about not killing with Quack, your last one does 1v1 it.
Yeah. I think this Quack dies
Especially
though to
after
the
whatever
Toxic here.
damage that. Well, yeah, sure. It was already 31% a couple turns ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
one turn
boots.
too
It's
late.
oh no, it's not okay.
So Celebi should win this.
Yeah, you just don't get frozen.
So we got frozen.
Don't.
Oh man. That's like a clown nose, like wee 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 wee.
Yeah, it sounds just like that
Don't
when the
get
clown
frozen.
when
Wee,
the clown
wee.
does that with their nose. They go wee wee.
No way.
No.
Actually, I did forget about that end game. I think I remember watching this and there was like a major pop off in chat. Yeah. Didn't somebody call it?
A freeze would be so cool, please.
Wow,
So it was really the
that's
friendship
iconic.
mechanic that came into play here. Glowking did it to
True.
please its trainer.
He was petting his Slowking in PokeME.
Yeah.
They went on enough picnics together. That's funny.
I
Wow.
replay stream. Look at it. Hey Lee. He's not here
Oh,
with
so
us,
glad.
but he's here with us in spirit.
So glad that he could make it. He's
Yeah.
even here on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at some of these teams. So we did see.
Spread out by chat. Which one do you
Yeah,
want?
sure. So it was Scarf Chomp.
Umbreon.
Roselli, Umbreon. Well, with Iron Tail. Oh, I would have gotten got by that.
Just a counter for the DNC, I guess. I'll play Wish Protect. Okay.
I guess I spoke too soon when I said Umbreon was useless because it definitely had a.
Yeah. It had an ace. It's yes, Scarf Chomp. Firefang Spite, okay. Is
Oh,
adamant.
that's
It's
why it
true.
was doing no damage. It was Spadef Quack. I was wondering why it did so
Yeah, I
little
guess
to
that
Slow
makes
King.
sense with a bulk up build in front of like a Suicune. But then again, I mean, you do just get toxic. It also maybe survives like an Arctozolt hit. No, but Arctozolt's
Like a
physical.
Volbeak. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
you've got to
less
like
than the. I don't
bulk
know.
up on the Slow King, which is usually running a psychic move.
Yeah. Was it running a second move? I don't even know. We only saw Ice Beam and Chili Reception. Oh, it wasn't. It was just
No,
Scald, Ice
Scald
Beam,
though.
Toxic
I
Spray.
wonder what the Scald's for. Just fishing for burns, but I feel like you've got better things to do.
Maybe
Like setting a
maybe
T-Spike
the
or a Chili
Heatran?
Reception, I feel like is for the Heatran? No.
Maybe.
I mean,
It,
it's Terra. There's no way.
true, yeah.
Maybe you didn't want to run like Shed Shell for the Magma Storm, so you were worried about getting taunted and you wanted the Scald to try and 1v1 it in the like
Yeah.
Force 1v1. Maybe that's
But
why it
even
was
still, then
Spadef.
you just get the. Well, actually, you know what? It's a Terra Captain, but if it stays fire, it's weak to Scald. If it Terra Grasses, which is what you'd be concerned about for Scald, you actually do hit it with Ice Beam still. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm also wondering maybe if it's like no, because you're as Glow King with Chili Reception with your pivot, you're also not really even trying to like hit the swap, right? Because I was gonna say like maybe you're trying to hit the Mawile on a swap with Scald, like if Mawile wants to come in on you, being passive. But no, you just click Chili Reception if you're expecting Mawile to come in, and you go into
Yeah.
whatever outspeeds it. Like
And if you have a turn to click a button that you don't want to pivot, that's when you run the T-Spike.
T
Like
spikes, yeah,
you're running that specifically for it. So I guess yeah, I guess Scald is specifically for Tran that hasn't Terred.
yeah.
Definitely shaky because it doesn't get a
But
ground
like
move,
you also
right? But it
have
gets
a
Focus
Suicune.
Blast.
You have a Suicune that also has Scald, and this was sub protect, so it wasn't rest. We never saw a sub though.
Interesting.
I feel like a sub would have been smarter on like the turns where he was just throwing out the toxic, where like especially after he got the Garchomp, especially, and you know that the Umbreon is still back there. But then again, like, what are you really doing to the Umbreon behind a Scald? Like, I mean, behind a sub, are you just clicking Scald? Just wish protection for you. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just crying.
Then again, though, I mean, you are pressure stalling it with so it can't wish protect forever. It gets the same number of recovery turns as any other move. I guess
And
double
well,
because wish
pressure
beam
only
protect.
burns extra turns of things that target you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Has it always been that? I could have sworn that it also works
Yeah.
against like Roost and stuff.
Nope. I don't think so. I mean, let me double check. Pokemon pressure.
I always thought it was every move.
When another Pokemon, including an ally, uses a move targeting a Pokemon that has pressure, when PP is deducted from that move, one more PP than usual is deducted.
Interesting. So what if Pressure Corviknight uses Roost on itself?
Oh no.
Takes two. Yo, dude, come back.
Interesting. I didn't know this. If multiple targets have pressure, so like if you use Surf and you hit two Pokemon with pressure, each one results in additional PP being deducted.
So you lose three. What if your teammate has
Yes.
pressure?
Then you lose four.
Does that count?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot
Imagine.
to do the Wordle. No, I didn't. I did the Wordle.
I haven't done the Wordle since we moved it to the bot channel because I have that channel muted. I don't see it anymore.
True. I definitely did the Wordle. Maybe I just haven't like clicked play in the bot channel. Let me just literally do that right now,
Mm.
just to show you my
Just get a turn
results.
one. Get a turn one.
Just to brag that I did it in two. Very nice. All right, it's up to date now. Okay,
Were there any other sets
so
you wanted
that
to
was
see
that. So
before we
yeah,
move
I
on?
want to see what were the Mawile attacks.
Oh
If
yeah.
it had Sucker Punch, I'm gonna have a fit.
Okay, it's down here. It didn't knock off Fire
Fire
Fang.
Fang.
Are
Maybe
there
Fire Fang's
any?
for something on the bench.
Yeah. Or just like
Let me
a
check Atlas's team to see what that
Cortana
was
or a
for.
Ferrothorn or something.
Yeah, literally there was a Scizor on the bench.
Okay, yeah.
That makes yeah, you can't go into a Scizor matchup without a fire move.
Yeah. Fire Fang on the Garchomp as well. The
Yep,
Scarf Chomp.
makes sense.
Though it kind of sucks that your only fire coverage move apparently is Fire Fang. I
Yeah.
mean, you have Magma Storm on your Heatran, but like like even if like your Scarf Fire Fang, does that even Oko Scizor? Like,
It is adamant, so maybe it's stronger
yeah.
than Fire Blast. Let me check.
Isn't it
Adamant.
also like 95% accurate or something stupid?
Yeah, something like that.
They just
Yeah,
couldn't let like
Adamant
the
Fire
55
Fang.
base power move have 100% accurate.
Adamant Fire Fang to max HP Scizor is literally a 50% roll.
Wow.
If it was Fire Blast, since you're adamant, it does a bit less.
Yeah, but
But if you were like a naughty nature or something, it's wow, it's the exact same roll.
well, what if you did not special attack reducing, but put 96 EVs into special attack? Because we have 96 in HP, which I'm guessing is just the leftover from the 160 in speed. So like, what if
If
you
you have
put that into special
96,
attack
yeah, if you have that 96, it's actually an Oko.
from Fire Blast?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that also
Against just max
makes sense, I
HP.
guess. But
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't
It's
come
definitely an
up,
option.
obviously, but
No, it didn't. Scizor didn't come, so
yeah.
I think that's all I needed from the sets. Sorry, was the Fundy scarf?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it was.
above.
Or no, sorry, that was a different Pokemon.
It is Scarf.
Yeah, scarf. Okay, and last one,
Scarf
the
T
Arctozold.
Wave, which we did not see click a button, was
Oh man, that poor
Lord.
Arctozold got sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. Wait,
Protect.
I thought
What?
Arctozold didn't get a physical ice move.
No, it does. I think it gets Icicle Spear too.
For some reason, I thought that like had to run Blizzard. Am I thinking of something else?
It's just that like it doesn't really need its special defense stat. You kind of just rely on the fact that its defense is boosted and you only bring it in on like physical attackers. And in that case, Blizzard is usually just stronger. You often have a lot of like excess speed EVs
Yeah.
that you can just dump into special attack. And being mixed actually makes you like having Bolt Beam already makes Arctozolt really hard to switch into, but being mixed on top of that is pretty
Yeah.
tough. That makes it really tough too.
Interesting. There's a Calm Mind Rock Polish Diancie, by the way. I don't think we saw anything.
Oh, that reminds me. The Heatran set. So do you think the Flash Cannon for Diancie was necessary, or do you think that should have been Taunt?
Yeah, it looks like I think one of the issues actually overall with the team is that it looks like I've made this mistake before where you kind of over prep a lot of your like you commit a lot of your move slots to over prepping for like 2 months. So we mentioned the Fire Fangs being on 2 different mons where it's like no, it's already not a great coverage move. Even like yeah, sure, it gets you your 4 times effectiveness against a Scizor, but on its own, it's just not a good move. On top of that, you also have a Heatran who already kind of counters Scizor on its own. Like it's Terra, sure. Like once you Terra Grass, maybe you don't counter it anymore, but you don't have to Terra it if the Scizor's here. You can wait until the Scizor's dealt with before you do that.
Yeah, and I
I'm
think that was
feeling
the purpose of the
similarly.
air balloon, right? Like if you're running air balloon with Terra Grass, that means you want to save your Terra for later.
Right, yeah. So like if Scissor's out or like if he's still around, then you're still like you don't have to Terra Grass as soon as you see the ground type, like the Gliscor, I guess is who it is
Yeah,
on this team.
yeah,
But either way, like I feel the same way kind of about the flash cannon. Honestly though, like if I had to choose, I would say that the flash cannon just keeping it on Heatran makes sense if it's your good option into Dancy. But have running that instead of the taunt, but then also having this set, which is kind of just dedicated to be like a haha, you weren't expecting this. I one shot your
yeah. Allure
Dancy.
set.
Exactly. Yeah, like you already have this, which is like Iron Tail is not a good move.
Yeah,
Roselli Berry Iron Tail together is like not a like in a vacuum without this Dancy, like horrible set, right? It's a good set into the Dancy. You're turning your Umbreon into a set that basically just deals with the Dancy, and then you're still losing a move slot to running Flash Cannon on Heatran because you're so prepped for that. And then you also have Mawile with Ironhead, who like already wants to run Ironhead, right? It's like it's less of a sacrifice for the Mawile here to run Ironhead than it is for the Heatran to run Flash Cannon when it already has two other attacks. I think it's too. I think to answer your original question, I think yeah, Taunt would have been better here.
yeah,
Under the reasoning that I think there was just some over prepping done for specific mons, and that kind of limited the rest of their movesets.
yeah. And grass doesn't even make you that much better into Dancy, anyways, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I think just Terra Blast taunt is nice. But honestly, the rest of the set I think is fine. The rest of everything I think is pretty okay.
yeah, no, I think they're all decent.
I
Like
didn't
they're all
have a
decent
problem with
sets.
it.
Like, and again, like I actually like this set. Like I'm not trying to like shit on this set because I actually think this is a
Yeah,
smart bring. Like this is like you would get the DNC with this. But my point is just that like if you're committing one of your 6 slots to like having this set, then you're supposed to be kind of like relieving yourself of having to run steel coverage on everything else. Same with the
yeah,
if you're committing one of your slots on on your Scarf Garchomp to Fire Fang, where hitting anything other than Scizor is going to be a free swap pretty much, like on Fire Fang. Again, it's like, well, do you really also need it on Mywell? You really also need. I mean, realistically, Heatran's the thing that you just counter Scizor with. And
yeah,
really, it's probably the reason that the Scizor didn't come to this game is because you have
yeah.
Heatran.
True.
Like, and you're
But you know
still
what?
committing 2 extra slots to Fire Fang.
But it
Which
kind
like
of
this could have been
also
a Sword
begs the
Stance. This
question.
could have been, on Garchomp. It could have been, I don't know, something else. I don't know what else.
It kind of also begs the question though of like rather than Roselli, Irontail, um, Umbreon, that does that even kill Diancie, by the way?
That I'm not
Let me
sure.
check.
It is Impish Nature,
But
so that's also minus special attack, right?
yeah, Umbreon, Impish, Irontail.
With no attack investment though.
It doesn't even kill.
How much does it do?
It does 78 to 92,
To Mega
but
or to regular?
to Mega Diancie. And it isn't even it's a 75% chance to hit.
Yeah, it's not even 100% accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think that maybe it's for like once it's chipped down a little bit. I mean, even after like 1 or 2 rocks, that's like a pretty decent roll to
But I mean,
kill.
wouldn't you just rather like? I mean, you're already running Scarf Chomp. I feel like you're not actually ever clicking
Just run
spikes. You can just run Ironhead over
Iron Head,
spikes,
yeah. Yeah.
and then you can have a real Umbreon set.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is a little too hypothetical, but I also feel like maybe Stella was a little too in her own head, trying to be
Overcooked a
cute a
little bit,
little.
yeah.
But I mean, hey, whatever.
But again, like
If
I
it had
think
worked, we would have all been saying that Stella's a genius.
right,
And
yeah,
we're
and that's why I
stupid,
don't have a
but it
problem
didn't
with the
work.
set.
So
I don't
yeah,
have a problem with the set. I think it's fine to bring this kind of set once in a while, right?
yeah,
It's just that it didn't even end up being the one to do its job, and there's also several other ways to kill Dancy on this team.
yeah.
uh, but anyway, I mean, we're saying all of this like, oh well, maybe Stella will learn for next time, so she doesn't lose a game again. It's like, okay, well, she also lost a game to getting frozen on the last turn, so like she
True.
otherwise wins this. Otherwise, this
Yeah.
team wins, right? So like,
I almost
it's
forgot
not like
about that.
it's
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's another thing I really liked is the Celebi set, and I've been taken off guard by Nasty Plot and CM Celebi more times than I will give it credit for. Celebi is pretty nasty, honestly. Really good mod,
we talked
and
about it
I'm
during the
surprised that
reviews.
nobody. Yeah, I'm surprised though that nobody drafted Terra Celebi.
Terra's so
I think it's
yeah.
really strong in this like Terra landscape.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been talking about this game for a good amount of time. I think
Yeah, we can move on.
fortunate for Stella. Congrats to Atlas. That's really funny. It's one for the ages.
One for
And
the
we can move on to our
ages.
hustle game. Who do we got?
Hustle game. We got Drake Wake versus NFE is a real tier.
True, Eager 99.
The
You may know
culprit
him as.
behind the Torkoal from 2 games.
Yeah.
Wait, so we're reviewing Eager 99 twice today? We already shit on his last set. What are we gonna see this time?
Call him Eager 100.
Would it be 1,000?
What have we got for Terra here? Terra Rock Arcanine
Joe,
and
Terra
Terra
Stellar
Steel
King Gambit?
Kingdra.
No.
No. Terra Steel Kingdra. Oh, that's right.
And
So
is this
Drightwake is the
Ogerpon
only.
a Terra Captain?
No, it's banned.
It
Drightwake's
is
the only
banned. I didn't know
one that drafted the
Wait.
Terra Arcanine, like we've mentioned before.
Or all the masks are banned for Terra, right? Or is Rock legal?
I believe all of them are banned.
Because I know Hearthflame is banned. But yeah, I guess this is gonna.
Maybe grass is legal. I feel like it's banned though. It's just you literally physically can't change the type.
True, yeah. Well, I guess that's true of all of them. But I think the other ones get their stat boost whenever they Terra.
I just mean in this preview, like that's the reason it's not stellar.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying you couldn't change Ogerpon's type, which I would believe. Can you change Grass Ogerpon's Terra type?
No.
Okay. Well, either way.
So usually when I have an Ogerpon, which I've drafted Firepon like 3 times before, and I love it.
Dude, cringe.
What?
So
What do you mean?
cringe,
It's
dude.
never with Terra, man.
That's true.
I usually just set my entire team to fire, and then
That's
just have my captains not be
and then you
fire.
hide your Terrafire Togepi in there. And they'll never suspect
True. How'd you know it was specifically Togepi as my captain?
it. Because it has Iron Tail, so it'll counter the fairy types
True.
when you go into your fire to resist
Very
them.
true, man.
I don't think it has Iron Tail.
Well, I mean,
I think
I
it
don't think
learns
so. Maybe
approximately 3 moves, and it's Headbutt,
I think-
Metronome, and like Charm.
I think when it evolves, it gets Steel Wing, but maybe that's it.
Probably, yeah. They love giving that move out in old gens.
Hmm.
Haven't seen it in a while though. Maybe
All right. Well, we
Uh-oh.
see
tried
the
to cook a little.
yeah. Well,
Boy.
we see the Alolan Golem here.
Wait.
So
What is
already kind of interested in it. Do you think it's Magnet Pull for Gambit?
Gambit, or maybe a mon that we don't see, but Gambit would make sense.
Let me double check Eager's team here.
I've always been interested in Alolan Golem. It's because there's so many cool things about it, but then it's just like you look at like you actually look at the type chart for it, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this poor mon. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
So-
all the downsides of like Magnezone, but like without the upsides of Magnezone.
Yeah. So Gambit is the only Steel type. So that makes me
Okay.
think maybe it would even
What's
be
its other
like
abilities? I forget.
It has Galvanize
Sturdy and
and
Galvanize.
something. Yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing Galvanize and thinking that could be like an interesting thing to run on up. But does
So
it
there are
get, like,
3
good
water
normal
types.
moves?
It has Double Edge, Return, Explosion. Like
That
moves
might
that are
actually
good.
that might be the set then.
We do see 3 water types, but only one of them is weak to Electric.
Yeah.
And
That means
there's no
that
ground.
their other type is not neutral. I mean, is not resistant to electric, right? Like your dragon isn't resistant, your grass isn't resistant. So that still means
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a banded galvanized double edge.
Yeah,
still
there
rips
are
through the
literally
team.
0 electric resists on
On the
Eager's
entire team.
So
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So
I
it actually
think
looks
I can confidently
kinda
say
good.
that's probably what it is.
Yeah. If I were to guess though, I still think that it's probably a Magna Pull
Rock
with
solid.
like body press, maybe.
Maybe.
For the Gambit. Because I think Gambit's kind of a problem for this team. Maybe not even. That's a Mega Lop, that's a Kartana, that's an
Sucker
Arcanine.
Punch, like
Maybe it's not even a
inhibitors.
big deal. Maybe it's Galv. Offensive Galv wins again.
Yeah, I think you risk too much bringing the Alolan Golem as like your counterplay to King Gambit. You know, like where it's like it could be good, like Magnet Pull, Iron Defense, Body Press on it. Sure, like that would probably beat it, but also like, you're still also risking a little bit that it's because its Steel type is not resisted because you're Rock type as well. It and I don't know if King Gambit gets ground coverage. Either way, it's like you're risking it. Like if that's all it's coming for, it's like you maybe have a higher tier mon that kind of deals with it better or like more reliably. That it's like not just this gimmick 1v1. I think that if you're looking at games to bring this to, and you see this team that has no electric communities or resists at all, and you're high on the Alolan Golem, then you're thinking of the galvanized sets. So that's the only thing that I would predict.
Though, like, it's kind of tough though, considering look, you've got 3 like glass cannons, right? I mean, Cart has a defense stat, but Cart is tough to switch in to Gambit, and Lopunny, which is your fighting
hustle,
type.
right? This is the hustle game.
This is hustle. Lopunny, this is Mega Lop, so your fighting type doesn't switch in on it. Your defensive Mew doesn't switch on it. Your Arcanine can't reliably run Intimidate because it has Defiant, potentially. So maybe it's like a concession of, hey, my defensive core is really bad and I just want to try and trap this and eliminate it.
Yeah.
Now watch, we're both going to be wrong, and it's going to be like some
sturdy
like rocks,
sturdy Custap explosion.
Yeah.
Takes out the unsuspecting Comfey, who actually has higher priority than it anyway.
Well, let's take a look. I feel like what's it called? Volcanion is a pretty good lead here.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay, so I would think that Greninja or Lop is the lead here, right? If it's Lop to get the Mega and fake out.
Both of those.
Yeah, then Greninja would just be if it's a choice set, just when you U-turn scout. What if it's like a Rocky Helmet? What if it's like a Rocky Helmet Gloking though? Like Rocky Helmet, I don't know the set, but
yeah,
if I was running a Rocky Helmet Gloking here, that answers both too. Because even if it's not a physical Greninja, like it still would be clicking U-turn and still taking that chip.
Yeah, I'm just really worried about this Arcanine lead.
Yeah, and also even Mew, like it could like taunt you or do whatever. Like if you try to do something cute.
I kind of feel like you have to lead Pawn.
Pawn, you think?
Or unironically, Kingdra is
actually okay. Though? I feel like Pawn doesn't want to lead into
Pawn doesn't want to take a U-turn, but at least you'll get damage on something. Like nothing switches in on you very well.
Oh, actually, okay, you know what? Theory here.
It could be Spiky Shield.
I was going to say, I think that would actually be a good counter to Mega Lop in general. Just because Protect's already good against it.
Overrated. I don't think you run Fake Out Lop very often.
Yeah. Personally. Well, you know whose is probably stronger. I haven't calced it, but it probably is because it's Technician Ambit Palms.
Oh, true. Good point.
Yeah. So.
Anyways.
Kingdra.
Yeah, actually, I was even thinking like Kingdra maybe doesn't even look that bad.
Yeah. It beats the Arcanine, who is not
because it's
Terra Grass or anything. It has Terra Rock. So it's like still like you can't even get rid of the water. Actually, that's really interesting. We didn't really talk about that. Against the team with 3 water types and your 4 times weak water type isn't switching out of its water weakness. You would think that that's like free real estate for grass. Then again, one of them is a fire water type, so like grass isn't free. But like, if you were just to do that,
but it's also
even just going to something neutral like normal for E-speed or something would.
But like look offensively, you know, Eager's switch to rock is Gambit. And even his ground type, the Lando Eye that he has on the back or in the back that he didn't bring, doesn't switch in on the head smash very well, right? So I think it might even just be Scarf with
that makes sense. Yeah, I guess it's not a horrible set.
Smash.
But it is a little bit risky into the team though. You would need to be Scarf. And it's Greninja. So U-turn probably, yeah.
I wonder why it felt so threatened that it had to switch there, though. Doesn't Kingdra have kind of a safe turn? I mean, not safe. It could take a dark.
It depends on what you want to do, or if you need to preserve your health for anything else. Like maybe there's like some calc that it knows it needs to live for, or maybe it's even Sash against Arcanine. I have no clue, but like I'm just saying, like there could be some stuff going on there. And I think Volcanion's usually safe on Greninja. Yeah, you don't want it to just pivot on you for free, which is what it did. But if it's like AV, at least it answers you defensively. But then what are you expecting other than U-turn from Greninja against Kingdra? Because like you said, like even if you have this knowledge that you don't want Kingdra to take any damage, as Drake Wake, you're also not saying like, whoa, can't wait to do like 30% to Kingdra and then also take a hit or like let it set up. Like no, you're not. Like Greninja's swapping out too, right? So like I don't think that going to the Volcanion was necessary there.
Yeah, potentially. But now something's got to eat this head smash, so...
Yep. It's going to be you. Oh, look, it's a King
Gambit.
Gambit
Is the
head smash swap. It does.
Yeah, and I mean...
It gets 2 hit
swap in air quotes. The substitute, though, that's not even Scarf.
I guess you're expecting a sucker maybe, but I
And
would
it's life orb. Oh, it's life orb. I didn't realize. That's why I did so much damage.
sub life orb. Curious.
Hmm.
Cortana. Oh, look, it's the seal swap. Wow, man,
Yeah.
you were dead wrong on these swaps. It turns out these guys really are their steel types. So knock, Chopple,
Choppleberry.
Chopple, and the
So
Cortana.
so it wasn't even an
Sucker
Oka berry.
failed. He's synthesis. He's a wall, dude. It's
Ooh,
the defensive wall.
that's a bona fide steel
Wait,
type right
that's
there.
so funny because he does have a defense stat. He
Yeah.
like, all right. So we're thinking that this is a galvanized Alolan Golem, right? When clearly this Cortana was designed to fuck Kingambit.
Yeah.
That's actually really fun. I like that. Oh my god, dude.
That's just so much
He's,
damage,
he's
man.
+1, but like that's
The trick
great.
room though. Big trick room. Okay, cart's
Trick room,
down.
yeah.
You didn't really need cart
Okay.
anymore. It
Yeah,
already killed the
Cortana
Gambit.
did its job, I think.
Yeah.
It got
It was 1.5
and actually
to
wait,
1,
you know
basically.
what? Knocking that Chopple was pretty important. I wonder if that nah, it probably kills through. It probably
That
kills through
kills.
Chopple at 42, yeah. Either way. Alright, but that's huge. Yeah, I mean you get so much value out of that. Now oh wait, it was lagging
Oh,
tail.
for the trick room. So the utility reception last in trick room.
So ironically, knocking off the lagging tail is actually what killed the card. Granted, you're
Is
not
what
doing
killed
that much
the card,
damage.
yeah.
Like if it clicked anything else, like if it clicked Sacred Sword and did 11%, I don't know if it does 11%, and then click knock, it actually kills it in the trick room.
That's funny.
But you're also not expecting that, right? Like you're not saying like,
Yeah.
can't wait to outspeed this cloaking because
If
he's
anything, you're expecting
surely
like
holding
a-
lagging tail right now.
If anything, you're expecting a Colbert or something, right?
Yeah,
So you're just trying to proc the berry for like
yeah. Which
grand
either
later
way,
on.
still value. So I don't think that's terrible for it at all. Poison, synchronized.
Oh, Drakewake's here in chat. He actually says cart was also partially for backs on the bench.
Oh,
So it was maybe like a FizzDef kind of set. We'll take a look at the set after.
It had to be FizzDef if it was taken less than 50%.
I'm always so
from
interested
Gambit.
in like bulky Cartana sets because I always write it off for like
Yeah, every time we
being
see one in
literally
the tier
paper
review, you say
thin.
that. Or
I mean,
maybe,
it's
roster
literally
review. It's true though.
it's
It has like
literally the
55
paper
HP,
cut on though. Okay,
right?
yeah, it does.
So it's still not like.
But
It would be like running defensive bundle. Like it's you could. It would be funny, but like.
But, like,
you're right.
it
Though.
has-
Like it doesn't. It's not really.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't know. I was saying a lot. I lost track. It's awesome. We'll take a look at this set later.
All right. Okay, so where are we? So let's look at
Icicle Spear Mew.
but it's not setting up though. So wait, okay, so this is we're already in Trick Room,
Yeah.
and you're coming.
Seeing Icicle Spear, I feel like this is like a loaded dice, like scale shot kind of
Yeah.
set instead. Like maybe SD scale shot. That seems kind of troll, but like it probably isn't that bad.
Why else would you run Icicle Spear, right? If you're not.
Let me check
Running loaded
Eager's
dice.
team, see what there is. There is the Lando Eye. Maybe it's for like a Yachi Berry Lando instead of running.
Oh, that's
Ice
true. I
Beam
forgot that. I
or
forgot that
Ice
the
Punch or
Lando
something?
was on the team. Yeah, yeah, because it breaks through that. Azzy, keep your eyes on the road, boy.
True, we got one tuning in while driving and one tuning in while crashing.
Actually, it's Icicle Spear, not Icicle Crash. But nice try.
Oh, it's Icicle Drive.
Icicle Drive. Sherbet Land.
Okay, so we see the Icicle Spear. It takes out the Slow King. I kind of wish Slow King just switched out here. It's definitely useful.
It ended up
Later in
working
the
out,
game, right?
beating the poison, right?
The poison, I guess, is nice. And now you can go into Kingdra here, or Volk, whatever, something
Bulk or
slower.
something, yeah. But we still don't know what the rest of the set is.
I guess it could be Rock Blast here,
Yeah. Oh,
but it just dies.
oh, you're still in.
I want to
Trick
take a
Room,
look at that set too.
so
Yeah, yeah.
You must be just knowing that that just kills it based on the sludge damage. Stone
Okay,
Edge,
no normal move. It's just the Stone Edge.
which really,
If
I
you
guess at
had Galvanize, it
88%,
should have clicked
it
an
would have
electric
still
move
killed.
there.
Yeah, it would have anything would have still killed that
Yeah,
Stone Edge
like
kills.
a Galvanize return or a Galvanize double edge would have killed there. Makes me think it's just not Gal.
Damn, dude, that's like I kind of forgot that it existed, but as soon as we started talking about it, I was like, this is the game that it pops up. And if it's
This
not,
has to be Galvanize.
it
I
has to
know
be
for a
galvanized.
fact.
Now that I found out what it is and what it does and who this
Yeah.
is. Oh wait, but he did have the Lando. It just didn't come to the game.
Yeah, it's on the
Okay.
back. Like it's on the bench.
When
So
we
it's
were
not
talking
like there's
before,
just
I thought
no
we were
ground
saying
hit.
that there wasn't an electric resist at all, but you just meant like in the six that
It's
are
just
here.
on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe what I was saying makes more sense given that context. Where it's like, wait, why wouldn't you run the Galvanized set if he has not a single electric resist on this team? But he does. It's just not here. Okay.
Yeah. It's just if your electric type is a lowland golem, it's
Yeah.
a low priority to prep for, right?
It's a lowland priority.
Ah.
Prep for. Trailblaze. Smart. Wait.
Oh,
What did it take? What did it take? Oh, it was the Stone Edge.
The Stone
so you
Edge.
should. I guess that the Trick Room just ended. Actually, that was pretty smart because if the Trick Room was still up for another turn, you actually can't do this.
yeah. And then okay, that's another thing that makes me think that it's not sturdy. So
You
it's
think
got to be
not
Magnapole.
sturdy if it's preserving the.
If it was
HP?
sturdy, I think you are fine to make that trade for Ogrepon.
Yeah, but what if you miss? If it's like choice or something.
Click a different move. Oh, if it's choice band?
Yeah, I don't know what its set is, but
Hmm.
if it was choice, maybe you want to preserve it to like hit it with a more accurate move. But
Maybe.
because actually, realistically, because this Trailblaze here, like if this is what you're worried about, then you come back in later with a more accurate move and the sturdy, then you guaranteed revenge like this speed boosted.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and maybe you're just putting Gren in here thinking that like if it's Trailblaze, then
This is probably Scarf.
oh,
yeah.
it is Scarf. Yeah, it actually just gets the kill. Oh, nice.
Damn. So that covered
He's
the
back.
Trailblaze and the water move actually,
Yeah.
and the Ivy Cudgel.
Well, wait, Ivy Cudgel will do more.
Then Trailblaze?
Yeah, right? Because Trailblaze is like 70 base power or 60. No, Trailblaze is
Don't
less
check.
than 60 because it's technician boosted.
Trailblaze is 50,
50.
but Ivy Cudgel's 100.
Oh, but it's water Ivy Cudgel, right? I guess
Yeah.
Horn Leech would have killed, but which is also a possibility. Horn Leech because he was at 30% or whatever it was. 30. Horn Leech is 70, right?
75 or something like that.
Yeah. So that would kill. I mean, like if 50 base power left him at 16%, I would think that Horn Leech actually kills.
Oh, for sure.
So
I mean, it'll just do 50% more damage than Trailblaze.
yeah. And then, but Grenade doesn't have a lot of HP, so it's not like you're healing that much. Anyway, either way, I like the play. I mean, if you don't think you need Grenade for anything else, really, like he gets hard countered by the Volcanion, who is like one of the few mons that are still left. I think it's a fair trade, especially if
Yeah,
you have
sure.
an answer in the Golem to like if it's
Here's the Terra Steel.
explosion. Yeah.
But it's not even galvanized.
It
That's a
wasn't
normal
galvanized,
type
but that had to be
explosion.
sturdy explosion. Yeah, yeah.
I'm expecting this was magnet pull, body press, explosion, maybe with a custap.
It gets iron defense, right?
Probably.
Because Stone Edge explode.
Like even just stealth rock, body press as the last two moves, I think is pretty decent.
Yeah, but then so it just if it's not a choice set though, and it's not because even the like you were saying like you don't think it's sturdy because it didn't stay in on the ogre pawn, and we were talking about like oh maybe it's choice whatever. Even if it's not sturdy, I feel like with its defense stat, it's still only normally weak to grass. I don't think it even like if you're just clicking another move like and you're not choiced into something like I think you still just survive whatever it clicks, right?
Ogreppon's really strong, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
But doesn't Golem have like an insane defense stat?
130.
I guess it's not that crazy. I guess it's insane for Gen 1 standards. And
If
just
it's-
kinda took it,
If it's Fizz Def, it takes 60 to 72 from
From
an Ivy
Trailblaze?
Cudgel.
Oh,
So
from Ivy.
from an Ivy
Okay.
Cudgel. So it
Yeah, I guess
does. But
yeah, that's what
what
you'd be
about a
scared of.
Power
Yeah.
Whip?
Ogre gets
Power Whip
power.
doesn't kill either. But if you're expecting Power Whip, you don't switch into your Greninja, right? So
Right.
maybe a Swords Dance is what the worry was.
Yeah, and then you know that you counter this. You know, you just U-turn on the source. But then again, like he's still.
Well, let's
I
get
don't know.
through it.
Yeah,
I want
let's
to
just
see what
finish
this set
the.
is.
We can
So
look at what this says. So this was the explosion.
yeah, normal
I'm
type
wondering
explosion,
if.
notably.
I'm still confused. So like normally I say like, oh, maybe you just don't need him anymore. If he tears, he tears.
That did do a lot of
But
damage though. Like that's a
could have
resisted
just been
explosion and
banded.
did 50. So I do think it is banded.
Yeah. Um. Maybe this is actually a good play because it's like because you're forcing the Terra here, and then maybe that's the only way that Lop kills, right? So it's like you either kill with the
With CC.
explosion, or you force him to Terra, he lives, and you kill with CC.
Yeah, and it didn't even mega.
Oh, didn't Mega? Did you forget?
Oh, to try and stay base for the draining kiss.
Oh, from comp? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But then switching
You're just
into
doing so
Gren,
little damage, though.
you're just sacking your Gren instead of doing chip with
Trick Room.
Trick Room though. Hold on.
U-turn.
And wait, I feel like Volcanion sweeps here. It just needs to hit.
With that
Oh,
power herb.
I was gonna say it just needs to hit a steam eruption, but I guess it doesn't.
Now
actually.
Megas fake out. Oh my god.
And the focus blast. Wow.
Focus hit. I don't miss. God damn.
Crazy. Okay,
I
let
didn't
me
know
see
that.
these
Okay,
sets.
I didn't know that Comfy got room either.
I definitely have seen it before, but it's not common.
Yeah. All right. So which one do you want to see first? You want to see the Golem?
I want to see
I
the
guess
Golem.
that
Yeah.
would not be on this team then.
No.
Golem is it was Boots. And it was
Boots sturdy.
Max HP, max attack. Stone Edge, Stealth Rocks.
It was
Explosion,
Rock's
Earthquake,
explosion
yeah.
last two moves.
Earthquake.
That wasn't even banded damage then? Does Kingdra just suck? Let me see that Kingdra set too.
Kindra's probably not invested in
It was
anything.
scope lens.
32
Yeah, just
HP.
it was set up. Terra
Well,
Steel for
isn't
Flash
this
Cannon.
like isn't this his like signature Kingdra?
Yeah. Yeah, he
Just
runs
look at
the
this-
same set all the
sniper
time.
Scope lens.
I just
like
wasn't
that set.
sure if the Terra Steel was like offensively for Flash Cannon damage or if it was defense.
Yeah.
But I guess it kind of works for both.
It
but
works both, yeah.
Yeah.
What fairies are on this team? Are there any?
Let me check. Drightwake has an Enamorous Therian.
Okay.
And also
That
Nidoking
could be
didn't
what-
come.
That could be what it's for. Because you think about it, with this specific set, the Dracometer just kills anything that's not a fairy, right? Because you're ignoring your stat drop with your crits, and it'll just nuke anything. So the flash gun is literally just to cover a fairy type.
Yeah.
And especially when their only steal is also a Kartana, who is not surviving the resisted Dracometeor either.
Yeah, probably not actually. Probably just dies.
Oh wait, we were gonna look at.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to
yeah.
see the card set. Yeah.
Well, first
Is
of all,
it defensive?
here's the King Gambit. So the King Gambit is
Okay.
attack boosted, max
Brave
attack.
for the Trick Room.
Yeah, it does have Sucker. Did we see Sucker? Yeah, we did see Sucker.
Yeah.
And then the Kartana is just HP. So
Max
it's not even,
HP.
but it's not defensive. I guess it doesn't need to be because its defense
No.
is just the base defense is so high.
Yeah. Any HP
Only-
invest
only
on card is
68
basic
bad.
defense.
But I guess
Yeah, I
you're-
mean, that makes sense.
There's
If
no
you
other.
want it to
Yeah,
be a
if you're
switch.
speed creeping.
Yeah, I think that's fine. And then that's probably still enough to get attack boost too. Or
Yeah.
Kartana needs
Oh,
like
true.
negative attack to not get an attack boost, right? That's just how high its attack is.
I thought its speed would at least contest with that a little bit.
I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of like timid Kartana.
For the minus attack nature.
Yeah, to get a speed boost. You run like Swords Dance, Focus Sash with timid.
I think it's funny that these kinds of abilities exist, like Beast Boost and
Yeah.
Photosynthesis, but it's also kind of dumb. It's like they
Okay, if you're timid with 19 IVs, you're one lower than your speed.
timid with 19.
Yeah.
Wow, so you have to even go negative or not negative. You have to go under 32 IVs.
Yeah.
What is its base attack?
181.
Okay, that was higher than I thought. I thought it was like
It's
150
it's
something.
massive. No,
Yeah.
it is insane.
But then its speed is still like it's like 105 or like is it a
109.
109? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was like kind
So
of around that range.
when you fully invest in speed, you're hitting just because 110 hits 350, right?
Yeah.
In whatever stat you're investing, except HP, obviously. Um, so that means though that unfortunately, even though you have such a crazy high attack stat, you're kind of dumbing your attack down to be like a 110. Like if you're capping out at just under 350, you're not hitting
Yeah.
hard. And the point is to get speed boosts with Swords Dance, obviously, but I don't know, time and place.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the time or the place.
Yeah,
So
in this place we wanted the attack boost.
yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
No, I love cool
Dog
kind
had
of
me framed.
survival cart sets. The dog? Oh, the Arcanine. Yeah.
Arcanine, yeah.
I mean,
Or maybe
Arcanine is
just
just
IRL.
crazy.
There could have been something going on.
Oh, maybe in the background he just had a dog that was like
Yeah.
barking in his ear.
Yeah, or it's like up at the window, like, and he's like, "Oh man, this game is tough because there's a dog like barking at me the whole time."
Yeah. Or maybe he has two monitors. On one screen is a battle, and on another screen is like a dog jump scare video.
All right, that's unlikely, dude. That didn't happen. Okay. All right. Stop
How do
making
you know?
stuff up. That's just hypotheticals. Come on, man.
Sure, we don't do that here.
Um,
We don't talk about
are
any
we-
hypotheticals.
Are we done with this one?
Yeah, I'm satisfied.
All right. I'm not satisfied.
We've
I want to
got-
see the galvanized golem, but
We've got one more replay, and it's our all-star replay,
Another
and
Comfrey.
it's between Riceman and Zap, and it is another
it's got
company,
an animated icon.
and it's another Ogerpon.
It is another Ogerpon, and it's the same Ogerpon.
Yeah, Zap's avatar is really sick. He's
I've
I
seen
think
the
he got
stationary
it
version
from
before.
yeah, I think he got it from some Smogon tour. It was like if you get drafted in this certain thing, then you get an animated like a custom avatar. And he's like you can hover over his badge that he has under his eye too. He's like a goat
Under
Rambat
his-
player.
Oh, down here,
Yeah,
yeah. It won't show it yet.
maybe it doesn't show until you're in battle, but
It actually doesn't even show in here. Maybe it just doesn't show.
maybe you
replay.
just have to be in the lobby. I don't know.
Yeah,
But it's for being like top whatever in Ranbats.
yeah. I remember. when they
And he's
added
always up
these.
there, and he got drafted in some like Ranbat tour.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I wonder if that fucks with the. No, it doesn't. Okay. I thought maybe like nudge the whole thing up, but I guess it extends down.
Oh no.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we see what Terra? We see Fairy Mesprit and Steel Kilowattrel.
And then these two
Versus
just
is that
change.
Ground Comfy?
Ground
and
Comfy,
Electric
Sinistra.
Sinistra. So interesting to see both of these players are like pretty highly respected players, not just in this community, but like in the like overall Pokemon communities as well.
Yeah, they got the battle timer on their
and-
series.
Yeah, they've got the timer on there. No, it's I'm interested in the fact that they have both of their Terra captains are mid tiers. They didn't either of them go for like a high tier, a 15 or 16 point captain. They both went for like the hovering around 10, I think like 11 to 9 point captains.
Yeah, 'cause I
seem to
think
be
Mesprit's
pretty
11,
popular.
right?
I think Mesprit is 9 and Kilowattrel is like 10 or 11, and then it's the same with Sinistra and Comfy, where Sinistra's the higher one.
Yeah, well, Company, I want to say it's like less than 10 points though. Like
I
where
think
it's
it's
like,
8.
like 8 or yeah, because Sinistra I think was higher than average for that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's only like 12.
Let me double check here. We've got Zap with 10 point Sinistra. Oh, he dropped Comfy. That's funny.
Rip.
Oh, right. That's a trade that we're going to talk about. But Comfy is 9.
Does that
And
spoil the
Sinistra's
outcome
10.
of this game? Did
No.
Comfy shit the bed?
Well, I can't say yes or no now, or it really will spoil.
Oh no, Comfy shit the bed.
And Riceman has, yeah, it's 11 and 9 Kilowattrel and Mesprit,
Then again,
respectively.
I dropped Farigiraf after it 6-0'd, so
True, you did do that. But didn't you like submit the trade before you played?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when I
you gave it its
didn't
last
feel like playing
hurrah,
that season
and
anymore. I
yeah,
was like, I'm gonna get
Sad.
Wigglytuff back.
yeah.
This isn't fun anymore.
Okay, so I mean, we see a Smeargle. It's hard to think of anything but a Smeargle lead.
Yeah.
Into
I mean, it's hard to
maybe
think
a
of anything
gold?
but a Samurai or Hammer
Or
lead.
yeah, I guess Samurott is okay too. I'm
Another game
assuming you
with
might want
multiple
to
water
taunt.
types.
You might want to taunt the Smeargle. Yeah, that sounds good. Like a taunt lead.
Yeah.
Hope it's not like
I
a
think it
comfy lead.
covers a lot. If you're running taunt, I think it covers basically anything.
Yeah, and it's good into the Jirachi. It's good into Sinistcha.
Yeah.
You kind of just the only thing you really don't
Even
want
like
it
a
in
scarf
against
Jirachi is a chance at your scarf.
is like Gallade. I guess is the only thing you're forced out from. Because even comfy, like you can get a move off on it or flip
Yeah.
turn, and you'll just take a bit of chip.
It's Mega Gallade, right?
It
Or
is,
it's just
yeah, Mega.
okay,
Yeah. So that's the only one that you're like super forced out on.
yeah.
So yeah, probably Samurott versus Smeargle here. Do you have other thoughts?
No, I was thinking
Moth?
Iron Moth maybe for this.
Yeah, were you?
Yeah, I was thinking of it.
We
I
just
didn't,
Smeargle.
I didn't say it, but I was thinking it.
Okay, what do you think is the play? Webs?
I mean, are you Sash? Like, is that?
If
You're
you're leading,
assuming-
you're almost always. I guess
Yeah.
you could be Mental Herb.
Because like, what's the removal here? Anything? I don't see any removal on this team.
No removal. Actually,
So
yeah,
if you're
good
webs,
call.
I think just you throw the webs down. But I'm gonna zoom in on the replay. Forgot to do that last game. T-spikes, shell smash. That's
Ooh,
not what I was
whoa.
expecting. Yeah, I wasn't.
Is this like
expecting
population bomb?
the shell smash? I guess it could be. There's the webs. The webs
No,
come down
wait.
second. Ceaseless edge.
Wait, this set is
Dude, he
crazy.
stole the move. He just stole it from the hammer
It did 20%.
with the sash. Dude, you
It
gotta
is
hit that
sash.
focus blast twice.
You get one more.
Oh no.
Oh my god. And it
Wait.
hit the focus blast. That's crazy.
Yeah, the one time you don't want to hit it. I'm glad that
Okay,
worked
wow.
out. I would have been afraid to click Destiny Bond there because you might just bank on the miss, right? Like if you click Destiny
So-
Bond and he misses, then you're like, oh.
So I actually have a hard time though assessing the situation because you trade Smeargle for gold, and that's like obviously a trade up, right?
Yeah, I mean usually.
And
like,
you trade two hazards
copper
for one. Yeah, and you trade two hazards for one, and obviously that's a trade up. But
Yeah.
I'm actually not convinced that the T-Spike is worse than the webs.
Yeah, because no grounded poison. Who's your removal here? Do a Dragonite if it has.
It's got to be
defog?
Dragonite or Comfy.
Oh, Comfy gets defog.
Yeah. But Comfy doesn't want to be poisoned. Sinistcha doesn't want
I mean,
to
it could
be
be-
poisoned.
if
It
you're
hurts
running-
Gallade's survival.
If you're running defog Comfy, it might just be boots though.
True.
But yeah,
True,
no, I was saying the same thing. It's like, yeah, there's not really.
But like, there's no spinner. Are you gonna drop your webs and your spike for it? That's kind of the thing. Is like, I feel like assessing whether you should defog is.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, because the only removal also gets rid of that. Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. So Dragonite's immune. Jirachi's immune.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go
Smeargle, who's
Jirachi.
not immune, dies. It doesn't matter. Gallade's like really the only one that right now is guaranteed to get poisoned. Either of these could be boots. Probably not, but could be. I think you see how much leverage you get out of these before you make that decision, and then you just put in one of the
I
boxes that
agree.
doesn't care.
Yeah, you let your spike do some damage by going Jirachi here.
Yeah.
Jirachi's not bad in everything, I guess, but like an Iron Moth. But even then, it could be an Okaberry.
I was gonna say competitive kilowatt. It doesn't get it though because it's flying.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Okay, hold on. Mesprit's immune. Kilowattrel's immune.
Yeah. See, there's only
A couple
3
months that
Pokemon,
even get
but even
affected
then,
by that.
if it's like lead Moth, it probably boots Moth too.
Yeah.
It's not booster, right? So, and it's unlikely to be Spax with T spikes. It could be, but
It could be since it's swapped out, but I guess we'll find
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But then again, if you were choiced into if you were leading against a Smeargle and you know you're choiced and you click T spikes, I feel like you would probably be scared of what you're enabling from the Smeargle, right? Because like you know that at most you can click Toxic Spikes again or you swap. Like that's 2 turns that you're committing to letting the Smeargle do whatever it wants at minimum. If you're clicking T spikes turn 1, I would think that if it was choice, it would probably click an attack. But here's a Jirachi into the Moth. It's boots.
and
Yeah.
the boots Moth, yeah. The Fire Dance isn't enough to kill though. Oh, but the meter beam should be.
Oh
Yeah,
boy. And now your +1 special attack.
big turn.
Still not faster than the Kill Watcher, though.
So they're really just trading blows here. Yeah, this is gonna
Yeah.
kill the Jirachi. And once again, like the Boots Moth plus the two non-grounded mons means these hazards are not doing anything. And now the Sinistra is poisoned. Its setup sets are hindered by a lot right now. I feel like if you had Defog Comfy, you actually probably want to click Defog.
Yeah.
Like I
well,
actually
okay,
think
well, hold
these
on.
spikes are really bad for you.
Defog, if the Comfy comes out, and like you as Rice, I was gonna say, yeah, you as Rice Man probably put your, like, if your Kill Watch was not already in, you put it in there. Granted, I don't know what electric types Zap has to threaten that it might need Volt Absorb for.
Let me check.
But I mean, his name's Zap. I know he doesn't have Zap.
He has a Rotom Wash. It probably is against is Volt Absorb.
Yeah, you would want an immunity for that because you don't have a ground type. You didn't bring a ground type here,
yeah.
So it's probably for that.
And Rotom Wash beats most ground types anyways, just being a Levitate water, so
yeah.
I think definitely Volt Absorb.
Yeah. Well, either way, so there's okay, that's all we've seen. Yeah, okay, then Mesper comes out. Poison, Sinistra. We got some analysis in the chat. Here, let's see. We got, if you smash twice, it does crazy damage. Who are you smashing twice?
Huh?
Good question. All right, let's go back to the replay. So yeah, you mentioned this hinders this hinders the setup sets. It's not setting up; it's clicking Shadow Ball. So maybe it would have set up if it wasn't poison.
Now there's another. Oh my god, the miss!
Is that 90%?
Something like that. I think it's 90. Yeah.
Damn, that is extremely unfortunate because
although that Shadow Ball did so little that I almost think that it's like AV Samurott, or maybe it's just defensive Sinistra actually.
24% resisted.
Yeah, probably just defensive Sinistra.
And then, what's the base power Matcha Gotcha? Is it like 70 or 80 or something? And it's not that much. Because it hits spread, so it might even be like 60 or something. But either way, you're healing back whatever you take.
Higher than 60, I'm sure.
Is that I might be wrong about this? Does Matcha Gotcha heal you for the full damage and not half, or was that just like a miss?
It's half.
It is half. Okay, that might have been something where it's like before it came out, there was like some weird bug with it, or like some data mine that was like, it heals for full, and then people would be broken.
I looked it up. It is 80, 90.
80. Okay. So that's so it's only 10 lower than the Shadow Ball. So it.
Well, Shadow Ball's 80 as well.
Oh, I thought Shadow Ball was 90.
Nope.
So I mean, it would literally be 75%, right? So maybe it would have been a roll to kill.
Oh yeah, because it would have done 4 times the damage of the... Yeah, that it would have killed. So it's not AV Samurott.
Wait, is it? It does 4 times? I thought it would just do. Because if this is half damage at 24, then double. Oh, double damage, right? I was going to add 0.5.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so that definitely kills, and you heal off. Probably at least a
almost
good chunk
all of this damage, right? Yeah.
That's a tragic miss.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And that also means another layer of spikes too.
Yeah, true.
Like Gallade can't come in. Like this has to be Defog Comfey or
Defog or
just
GG.
Be out of luck. Yeah, I mean it could be Defog,
but it's CM. It's another setup. Which this is looking strong.
Well, yeah, at least it's not toxic.
This citrus might actually save it though. Oh, but the poison. Do you heal out of range? It did 66 last time. Not with the poison though. Wait, that roll.
That was like a min roll and max roll.
The first
but
time.
Either way, even if you get min roll, you still kill it.
You still die to the poison. It didn't matter, yeah.
Play rough. Well, I mean, you still get your. That's risky. I wonder what the other moves are. If you miss that, Ironhead.
Oh, Ironhead.
Oh, called out the Terra Fairy.
Yeah, that's a good turn. This should kill. If
Probably
not,
kills.
at least it'll
Yeah,
be
it's
low.
yeah.
Go. Damn. And I don't know if Gallade can kill here. It won't. I mean, it might have poison jab. SD. Gleam does nothing. Wait, that Gallade is bulky. You need jab here.
Yeah, but also you have 29% left and a minimum 3 mons to get through.
Yeah, and Kilowatt was
and
faster.
Kilowatts was
Yeah,
faster. Yeah,
yeah, that's
I mean,
GG.
assuming Drain Punch.
And
I
Drain Punch
mean,
doesn't do it.
yeah,
That's
unfortunate.
that's it. That's game.
It would have
Honestly,
been,
still a good game. Very, very scrappy.
yeah.
I think this was. I think Zap had a good idea with his Smeargle set.
Nope. Where's his
Um,
avatar?
but Rice Man's team was just so like effective against the hazards, right? Like with 3 mons that were immune to both of the hazards, meant that the
Yeah.
webs didn't actually do much. And Gallade, can you check the Gallade set for me and zoom out?
Oh, right. Alright, Khaled was down here. Or no.
I feel like that was just really bulky.
Where the fuck's... Oh, there he is. Yeah, HP and Spidef
Yeah.
mostly. It wasn't even attacking mostly.
That's why it did no damage. Wow. Yeah, so you weren't even like running a breaker for these webs.
Sneak. It was full health.
You know, like these webs, I feel like weren't that great. If it was like full offensive Gallade or like a banded Dragonite or something like that, I feel like the webs would be good. I guess maybe that's what he was going for with the Jirachi.
Yeah.
Was just full offense Jirachi, and that's your breaker after a power.
But it was still,
or after a Meteor Beam.
Well, it wasn't plus speed nature. It was still max speed EVs, which I can't imagine is completely necessary for what you're webbing here. Like Iron Moth probably underspeeds after webs, even if you don't put all this into it.
Yeah, there might have been room for some like HP invest somewhere, but actually, yeah, his EVs are they're all just 252s except for Gallade,
which has to be just creeping something.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have liked to have seen a breaker. The Gallade set was interesting. Yeah, on Zap's team. Gallade set was interesting. I like the concept.
No, I guess not if it's, yeah.
It wasn't a breaker. It was a setup sweeper. Yeah, SD Drain Punch is strong. Yeah, I think the Rice Man was just more equipped to deal with these hazards than Zap was. I feel like Zap disrespected and kind of assumed that, well, I've got Smeargle, so I'll have better hazards, and then kind of got bitten by it. Which is hard to do when you are against the Samurott, right?
You know what I'm looking at right now, though? You say like the SD Drain Punch. I don't know what the rest of the team looks like, but Resist and also Terra Captain. Resist, also faster than you. Immune. The only 2 mons you're Drain Punching are Samurott and Ogerpon. I mean, clearly he Drain Punched the Mesprit. But like, no Psychic attack for the Iron Moth. That will be.
There is also on the bench. There's a Great Tusk, a Cyclizar, and a
what?
And a Diancie.
Yeah, I feel like this set just doesn't really cover that team. Because you would think that even the Psychic move for Tusk, even though Tusk is so bulky that like you're not OHKOing it probably even after a Sword Stance. But what if the Tusk did show up and you have Drain Punch knock off Shadow Stance? What are you doing to that Tusk?
Let me
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, let me calc a Mega Gallade versus Great Tusk, even if it's just like no invest.
Yeah, just say what would Zen Headbutt be with +2?
Zen Headbutt with +2 would kill no HP Tusk.
Even without any attack investment on.
With 0 attack invest. Okay. But if it's max HP, it is a still very good roll. It's an 80 or 80. And Drain Punch does 45 to 44. Sorry, 45 to 54.
45 to 50. That's actually more than I would have thought. But this is still no HP Tusk though, right?
This is max HP Tusk.
Oh, max. Wait, Drain Punch
0
does
attack
that much?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually more than I thought.
Yeah. If it's no HP Tusk, the Drain Punch does 53 to 63. So it does actually 2-hit kill like offensive Tusk.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Well, what I'm wondering is you bring the Smeargle with this very like very interesting set. Like the very I'm gonna call you out set, like Sticky Webs and Ceaseless Edge lead. And he got the first 2 turns of it. And what do you think? I guess like gave him the confidence of running this set into a potential Great Tusk, where Great Tusk might not match up amazingly into like the Comfey, Jirachi, whatever, but at the same time, it's still probably the best hazard remover in the game, right?
Who's
Like
got the spin blocker?
this is that is you think that
I think, yeah, I
Tusk
think,
probably loses pretty hard to that. Like he gets a knock, gets Ice Spinner.
yeah, it's got to rely on coverage moves, which you can pretty easily recover through with Matcha Gotcha, assuming you
Yeah,
hit
that's
your
fair.
your attack.
Yeah. Sinistcha was a Terra Captain though, right? He was electric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
I guess
Tusk
the
doesn't
electric
really look
was
great.
for Kilowatt Troll.
Yeah. Well, actually, to resist it, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. I can see why
Yeah,
Riceman
maybe
didn't
Tusk isn't
bring
that
the
great.
Tusk.
But either way, it's like it's still pretty like
It's still good, right? Like it's
yeah,
hard to
and
discount.
it's like even if like you as the player with Tusk on your team, like because you sometimes you like put yourself in the other player's shoes. Like, would I bring Tusk to this fight? Even if you're like pretty confident about that, it's like it's still dangerous to like commit that whole game plan to it because I don't think he had any hazard removal, right? Like if we look through, I guess that was Riceman.
Yeah, nothing on the team. Oh, you mean Zap?
I'm wondering if Zap had any hazard removal. Like, so if
I mean,
he
it was
has this like
CM.
duel here, right? And I don't see
It
any.
was CM, Comfy, and DD Dragonite, so I would assume not.
Yeah, and then he didn't end up
So I think
bringing
Zap
it.
just expected Riceman to not get that many hazards off, even though there
Yeah.
was a Samurott. But again, maybe just a little bit disrespectful of Samurott and
Yeah.
making the call that T spikes wouldn't come. Honestly, the
Yeah.
spikes weren't the problem; it was the T spikes.
It was the T specs, yeah. And
And that's
honestly,
kind of
like,
what I was thinking.
I kind of don't necessarily always think about T spikes from the Moth either. Like Moth does so many other things so well. So I don't know if maybe that was like a lapse in judgment. They kind of like forgot about it, or if it was actually just not thinking that it'd be brought. I don't know.
Maybe. I think either way, I mean, still a good battle. Definitely, I think Riceman just out prepped Zap. Honestly,
Yeah.
Zap had some good ideas, but like I said, I kind of wish there was a bit better of a breaker and at least some removal for these T spikes.
Yeah.
Or at least if you're gonna run no removal, you can run
Sorry,
rather
run
than
what?
just hoping that T spikes don't come.
You said if you're gonna run no removal, then what?
Just run some boots.
That's a bit, yeah. Was anyone?
But if you're
besides
making the call
Dragonite?
that T spikes aren't coming, then I guess that's just the risk that you take.
Yeah. Well, GG. Sup,
They're
dudes
asking
from
in chat,
Stormtide.
yo, Stormtide, and asking, was this replay host choice or something?
Was
I guess technically they're all host choice, aren't they?
True.
But the only other All-Star battle that was voted was the troll battle with Azzy and Jortson, and Polito's battle, Polito versus Zard, and we just reviewed Polito's week 1 battle. So we didn't do the Polito one.
What was the troll battle gonna? What did you say that like actually happened in it?
I don't know. They just trolled. It like wasn't. What do you want me to say?
I couldn't remember if it was like an actual specific thing or if it was just like not really good.
They just ran dumb sets, and they said that there was a gimmick, but then didn't explain what the gimmick was.
Oh, that's right. I knew you had said something where it's like where you said, yeah, that's what it was. You said like there was a gimmick, but they didn't say what it was. So like,
yeah, so it was like, it was something along the lines of like somebody asked, guys, what's the gimmick for this battle? There's got to be something, and the response was something along the lines of, Nahyma should know, and I didn't know.
Dude, come on, you should know.
So I guess that's my bad.
Hold on. All right, I just to see.
And then they said at the end, worst idea ever. I'm just looking at it now. So I don't know what the idea
why did you
was.
make them do this? You know why they did this. Why did you make them do these? Worst idea ever. We got more Fire Fang, so apparently that's a troll move. We were right about that. Maybe it could be a berry, Aquaberry. Is it the berries? Is it they're running like
I
15
don't know,
berries?
man. That's what, like, look at their
Pasho
EVs.
berry,
They're just their EVs are, I don't
Kelio
know.
itemless
They're
with
just trolling. I don't
4
know what to tell you.
attacking. Yeah,
This was not
wait.
a real battle.
What is it? 1 HP. This is so weird. Worst idea ever. Agreed. Wait, wasn't Azzy in the chat? I guess he's driving.
Yeah,
We
we
shouldn't get
shouldn't
him
ask
to
him to break the
start
law.
typing. Yeah.
Terra Electric Sinistra almost won on the lead. T-specs were huge. No, I agree. And that's why I was saying at the beginning, like, even though you've got these double hazards up, you've got these webs and these spikes versus the T-spikes, I actually think it's hard. Like, I think you do make that call and remove, but then all of the removal options were just setup options instead. So
Yeah.
yeah, the T-spikes won the game pretty much on the spot.
Yeah, Stormtide, we did watch that game
Yeah,
earlier.
we watched your game. There was
Didn't we have
also
some
we
questions
wanted
for
to.
him?
Yeah, Sonta, maybe you can say just as we go over some of the leaderboards now, if you want to start pulling those up. We wanted to know what the actual like process is for how you pick, like who picks your sets. Like for example, we heard that Skyhops picked your first set, but we didn't know if the next people had access to which like to what set Skyhops made, and if like future people had full knowledge, or if they were just like they only had knowledge of the last set or any knowledge at all. I don't know. I just don't really know what we just kind of wanted to pick your brain on that. It's a picker wheel. Yeah, we know how people get picked, but we don't know how much information people have when they're making your sets. So, like for example, we saw that you had Specs Torkoal, but we didn't know if, for example, the second person might think that you brought your rain setter, but they wanted your Swift Swimmer to come. Do they have to hope that the rain setter comes, or do they know? I give people the option to know. Most times they do know other sets. Okay.
Unless they're the first one.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh, what was the other thing? The Terra type. It ended up making sense because it's banded close combat. But we were also curious,
Yeah,
like,
that's
what if
that's
they
what I would
forget
have
to set the
assumed.
Terra type? Like, would you just set it yourself, or like, do you just assume that they meant to leave it as the default? I think in that case, it's a safe assumption. But there's also like the serious nature on the Gudra. Like, are you allowed to fix
Yeah.
that? Like, or is it, you just have to take what they give you?
I think he's been pretty steadfast with just taking what he gets. And
Yeah,
even in the draft, I think somebody made a mistake with the draft somewhere or something
like
like that.
points.
Like getting the wrong Pokemon. I don't remember exactly.
Oh,
But it was like man, this team I don't want this, but he really just left it up to the crowd. He just asked them if it's a mistake. Okay,
the man
gotcha.
of the people.
So you
Unlike
didn't
us,
ask
because
if this
we just choose our own replays.
so you didn't ask if the serious nature Gudra Husui was intentional?
Maybe it was
Oh, right. We
intentional.
also wanted to know why all of the Pokemon were in a different order. Like
Oh, from the order that they
like
were
the first
made.
set that was made wasn't the first set. So for example, Skyhop said in chat, "Oh, I made the first set." So we assumed that meant that he made the Torkoal set, since Torkoal was the first Pokemon on
Yeah.
your team. And then we found out later that they were nicknamed after who made which set, and it wasn't the first set. It's just that the Screamtail set was the first one that was submitted,
Yeah.
but then you like shuffled them around or something for some reason. I don't know.
I'm guessing they were just all submitted independently, and then like he just put
Maybe.
them in whatever order he had the messages in. But he can confirm that. He says he don't.
But I don't think they do that though, because copy paste was being done at the
yeah,
manual.
manually. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you would just be like, okay, everybody make a set, because then again you fall into that trap of like, do I bring the Swift Swimmer or not? I don't know if the rain setter's coming.
Oh, and I guess
Anyways,
the copy
that's okay.
paste would be weird. Like you'd have to like space it out correctly so it actually like reads the whole team instead of like trying to individually do it and they're all janky.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
we
we've
have
got
the doc up.
some leaderboards. Yeah.
This is
So this is our Truant leaderboards after 2 weeks. This is up to date with 2 weeks, right? Yeah. Cool.
Looks like everybody has 2 games, yeah.
And it was kind of hard to go over these stats and stuff during week 1 because I mean there's not really enough info to populate it. Like half the players are in the top half and half the players are in the bottom half, I guess. And it doesn't really, like, having a sample size of one battle is really hard. Like, oh, it's kind of just week one replay or week one review. But now this is like at least a couple weeks worth of review. So there are a couple players who are already making a bit of a breakaway, with 3 people who are 2-0, being Major Comeback, C2, and Bobozab. And Major Comeback is one of the players that the PWC goons were saying is probably kind of smurfing in Drone Division.
Yeah.
Maybe shouldn't be there. And I mean, he's starting to prove it, right? Like being 2-0 after, I know it's only 2 weeks, but being 2-0 with the best diff as well is definitely a sign that, yeah, it's good. And I believe this was one of my favorite teams too.
You know which
being
diff was...
the Coco team, Terra Leaves, having the Terra Jolteon. Sorry?
Do you know what the diffs were in each game? Like if one of them was like a sweep and the other was like +1, or
I can check. That is something that I've wanted to implement.
Yeah, I keep checking here, thinking it's in the
stats
schedule.
page. Yeah, it honestly should be. It was 3-0 and 4-0.
3-0. Okay, so yeah, just solid wins.
Just 2 solid wins. Yeah. Yeah, hard to deny. Bobo. I mean, Bobo's been kind of teetering around the top half of Truant every division that he's played, or every season that he's played, right? So
yeah, I think after like, the first one that he was in, then he like started to pick up.
Yep, no surprise there. And C2 was a previous Swarm player too, so no surprise. At 1-1, we see. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I thought we would see 2-0 at the beginning of, or at the end of the first 2 weeks, because I think Rosie's team is just like hands down the best.
True. That was like our
in the division.
Top-rated team.
Yeah, but I know that they are new. Maybe just some growing pains and maybe just learning the game a little bit. And I don't actually remember how they lost or who they lost to. I'll double check right now.
I can see it right here too. It was to Jackie Lantern.
Oh, okay. Well, Jackie's also another new player, but Jackie's been pleasantly surprising me. Yeah, Jackie's been really solid, and I think we see Jackie also
surprising you by losing to the crowdsourced team week 1.
Yeah. I mean, hey, but that's also Stormtide. Like Stormtide, even though he's taking
sets
a
close
from
game
people,
against
he's
Neon,
still a good player. Yeah. Yeah, Neon has been like a top Swarm player before he like started getting too swamped with school and work and everything.
I remember I was always like whenever I think I played him every season that we were both in Swarm. Like I always had him in my schedule somewhere, and in season 1, I remember it was like a really. I think my team just like matched up kind of poorly into his. I remember it was like a really like tense match that I had like really prepped for, and then every other season it was always like one of the games that I like dreaded playing the most. It's like, damn, these were always so close. So I was kind of surprised like when he first dropped down the Truant. But yeah, it makes sense if he just like doesn't have time to prep and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like
takes a hit to team building and stuff.
Yeah, like he's good for sure, but we don't want to like grind people and force them kind of out of the scene when they don't have the time and the motivation to do that.
God, that's what like, can't imagine that happening.
True, that would suck, man.
Grind it into just OBS paste.
Yeah. But I mean, so we do also see Neon at 1-1. Let's see other new players. We'll check in
12 points with a perfectly even record and only -2 diff is bottom 5 in the division. Well, technically bottom 6.
Yeah. There is a big
but that'll
bunch
also
of
change,
people.
Yes.
I mean, we have 3 people at 0 and 2 people at +1. So one diff is separating 5 people from Lilia to Stormtide.
Yeah. No,
and it separates a little bit from diff from there, but
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody is over like an insane amount of diff loss. Like like -8 isn't that bad, especially when +7's the best. Like did Demo get swept at all? I don't keep going there to check.
I mean, -8 is basically getting 0-4'd twice, which like is unfortunate, but you can have an 0-4 game that's close, right?
Right, yeah, because it matters what pieces fall in what order.
Yeah, and like you can have a 6-0 game that's close, but so it obviously doesn't tell the whole story, and we've known that for forever. But I mean, there's only one person at -8. Yeah, well, exactly. But I mean, one person at -8, and I want to say that it's karmic justice for not drafting Execute. I think
dude, it evolved.
No, didn't evolve. That's a different one. He just caught it wild.
It's evolved.
Yeah. A little check-in on some newer players though. Guy Greg is 1-1. Pretty low diff. I think one of his games were not that great, but
for 2 games, you can easily recover this as
that was good.
Solid wins.
Yep. Sumanth, returning player, 1-1, has had a good showing.
Yeah,
Stormtide, 1-1 with the crowd source. Jackie,
insane,
new player,
insane.
1-1,
One and
0.
one with a zero div with the
Yeah,
crowdsource.
well, I think if you get a win in your first 2 weeks, especially your first 1 week, but your first 2 weeks as a completely new player, I think you're already set up for good things, right?
Yeah. Well,
And at
actually, it's
least you won't
interesting.
get to the end without not a single win.
These two
And I think
played
Elite Biscuit
week
is
one
also
and they're
new.
tied exactly.
Oh wow. Yeah, Elite Biscuit is also new. We have
Yep.
Lilia, another PWC person, 1-1. Falk did take a loss. I know that people were expecting Falk to kind of crush. He's doing well, obviously, and I
Yeah.
think I think
It's
the
still plus
reason
five.
why,
One
yeah, I
plus
think the
five.
reason why Falk is so high versus Damu, who's so low, I'm pretty sure they played in
Yeah,
week
like he
two,
probably got like a sweep or something.
and yeah, and Falk got a 6-0, or maybe it was a 5-0 thing. Yeah, where Terra Mousehold got 5 kills.
No,
It
that's the
just
kind
set
of thing
up
that just like
and killed
rips up
everything.
truant if you're not like ready for it,
Yeah, it was
if
a
you don't prep properly.
it was
Or was it Terra
Magnetpole
normal?
Magnezone. I don't remember, but Magnetpole Magnezone um pulled the Celesteela, which was the only normal versus.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah,
But I was just
yeah,
gonna point
definitely how you
out
play it.
that he has the same diff as two of the three undefeated people, and only two worse than the number one person right now at 1-1. He has the same
Yeah,
diff as them, so
yeah.
that's always a good story. Um, what was I gonna say about? Oh yeah, Roy, who has won the division before, is
He
0-2 to
has.
start. Did we see the Terra Armaldo come to a game yet?
I don't think we have.
We have
No.
not. Bring it to a game, maybe you'll win. That's the missing.
True.
That's the missing piece.
It is a signature. We do have a bunch of other leaderboards to check out as well.
Yep. Did you? Were there any trades in Trent? I think you said like
This
three of the
week,
four divisions had a trade.
I don't think. No, there were none this week. There was some week one.
Was
Nope,
that like
that was
free
race.
agency though, or grace period? Yeah.
Yeah, that was free agency. So, yep, no trades. Sorry, no trades recently.
All right. Well, here's Swarm division. We got a very similar spread. We have four
Wait, do you want to
undefeated.
go over the leaderboard, the other
Oh,
leaderboards
oh, those. I thought
first?
you meant like we have other leaderboards, like other divisions to
No,
get
no,
to.
no,
So
these
like,
ones.
okay, I guess we'll hurry up. um, yeah. Okay. Here's the Pokemon leaderboards. So that's still just coach. Probably
Yep,
want to look at like this stuff then, right? Yeah. So
sure.
here's
We see Dragonite with 5 kills already as the standalone kill leader.
yeah. And if anyone hasn't looked at the new updated tab for this, because this is the first time we're showing it on stream, I think. Um, they are now split up into non-Terra and Terra KO, because that was something we talked about a lot last season. We're just kind of like, oh, we have the Terra KO leader, but then you look at the we look at the overall KO leader, and it's still just the Terra captains until 17th place.
Yeah, it was it was like more than half just random
Yeah,
Terra captains anyways, and like the occasional Mega Diance, Mega.
right. So this is a nice way to split it up, get some different faces up here.
Yeah.
um,
It's all funny enough the same faces though. It's the Terrapagos, the Roaring Moon, the Gouging Fire.
yeah. Well, I mean the same faces between these two.
Yeah, but it's kind of the
But it is
same
the usual
the
suspects.
same faces, yeah.
So maybe this yeah, this does tell some of the stories. So we got the mouse hold here with the 5 KOs and plus 5
Yeah.
major comeback with the Iron Leaves, 6 KOs plus 6. Don't know if that was in one game. Dragonite always a beast. Your boy.
Yep, Terra Hands coming in, getting to both games that it came, right? So
Yeah. Look at this, your boy.
yeah, wow.
Cephalon.
Is this gonna be a new bit?
I hope so.
Oh,
I didn't even care
God.
for Blacephalon before we talked about it.
Before I told you that I don't like it.
Yeah, I
Great.
I never disliked it, but like I didn't really care for it particularly, and I just thought like, and it wasn't even like you didn't even say anything like horrible about it, but it was just funny that it came up like 3 divisions in a row. It's like, oh, here we go. It's another team where it's the only fire type, the only ghost type. They probably
Here we
saw
go
that
again.
typing, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's an icon now.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, then we split it into the tiers here as well.
Yeah,
These
it
will
just
have some
gives it.
repeats from
Yeah,
up
it
here.
just gives it a little bit extra because
Yeah,
like most of the time the non-Terra leaderboard tiers and the Terra leaderboards are going to be like high to mid tiers.
yeah,
So it just makes it so that there's a little bit more distinguishing, and the non-Terra leaderboard isn't just completely all the high tiers.
yeah.
So like the
I guess the drawback is that the mid tier leaderboard is just all Terra captains,
yeah, I guess
except
that
for
is kind of
Typhoon.
huh.
Wait, no, oh, wait, it literally is the top 5. Or no, no. Oh yeah,
Except for
yeah,
hands,
yeah. I was like, wait, I
but
do
hands is
see
a
all
high
these
tier.
ones. Yeah, it goes these 5. Yeah.
Yep,
Um.
but it
Either
gives
way,
like
though.
Licky Licky some recognition, so that's
Yeah,
nice.
true. Well, it's also nice too, where it's like sometimes when I'm like the polls and we're just like looking at the stats of like at the time that they're out, it's like sometimes it would just be biased to be like, oh, this mon ended up with the most kills. Let's vote for that. Whereas having this to kind of monitor for the whole season, I think gives just a better idea of like, oh, which low tiers are showing up and doing stuff, which high tiers are doing stuff, and even just the non-Terra KO leaderboard as well. Like helps differentiate them from the Terra leaderboard, or like from the Terras that won't even be included in the same category. So I think it's just nice to like check up on all of these like throughout the season and not just kind of like look at where everything fell at the end.
Yeah. We've also got some other leaderboards here. Yep, we've got
Yeah, I don't know how
Mega.
far this is gonna be able to scroll to the side. Oh, it cuts off on stats. That's fine.
That's okay. We don't
So
need to
yeah,
look at the stats haven't changed really. So
yeah, and yeah, we got
we see Mega
megas.
Scizor. Funny enough, all of the Megas only have a neutral or worse diff.
Yeah, till came to a game and died, which I guess you can understand for like Venusaur. At least she's like kind of just a bulkier mon.
Yeah,
Like
that's kind of its job.
if it dies, it's fine.
Ideally,
Um,
Scizor would live till the end of the game
yeah.
once or twice, but that's okay.
Well, wait.
Um,
Oh, I guess it literally died
now,
twice because it's 2 KOs and 0, which means it died in both games.
yeah, yeah. The way that these standings are sorted is it doesn't matter what the diff is. Like the diff is a tiebreaker. The KOs, the number of KOs you get, is the main criteria. So even if you're like 6 and 8 or something, you'll be better than something that's 5 and 0
Yeah.
because you'll just have the most KOs. That's all this is really worrying about.
Yeah.
But then diff is like a secondary
Dude,
tiebreaker.
imagine getting called out as the mega KO loser for not doing it, for not showing up to a game.
Yeah, for never coming. Yeah.
0 KO, 0 diff. Loser, loser.
Loser. Okay, the support leaderboards, again, this is something that I know that not actually like always
Yeah,
supports.
it's not the best stat.
For
to
example,
track.
like Sinisha is kind of a setup sweeper sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Bulu can set up. Cobalion, especially this season, is a Terra captain that can set up. Latias kind of set up. Calling them supports might be a little bit suspect, but like
Yeah,
they are
Cobalion is a
support
support,
Pokemon,
yeah.
you know? They're supports with setup.
Yeah, and honestly, it's funny because you would almost expect like to see even some of the better supports might show up in this category, like
Yeah.
Alomomola not getting a kill and like
It's probably
stacking
good.
to something. Yeah, like it doesn't mean it did a bad job, right? Like
Yeah.
so,
It's more just funny to track.
yeah.
And same with defensive.
And
Like
it makes
is
it cleaner
Zapdos
because
really
it can all fit in a
defensive?
block.
Yeah. Like is Moltres really defensive? You
Yeah.
know,
I would say I would
it's kind
say
of
I would say both of them are actually because they at least
yeah.
they have the contact punish. So,
Yeah.
and then what else?
And then
Oh
we've
yeah, here's a
got
couple more
NFEs.
categories.
Only 2 NFEs have participated in either positively or negatively. So
1 death, 1 KO.
I have a feeling that the
Chansey,
NFE tier
famously
is
the leader of KOs in.
well. There's
any
only
category.
6 NFEs. The only one not on the leaders is Rhydon.
Oh, wait, yeah, they're literally just in a different
So
order.
yeah,
And the only one not in the
For the most
losers is
part-
Chansey, even though it's also
for the
0
most
diff.
part, the NFE leaderboard is pretty empty for most divisions. So I don't know, kind of funny to
Weather KO leaders.
look at. Yeah, Protosynthesis Mon, you can
Yeah.
decide whether you consider them as
Weather,
Weathermons,
you
but they
consider-
are technically Weathermons.
Torkoal, big loser.
Having a bad time.
Specs rapid spin punishment. He deserves.
Okay,
it,
and then
but
there's
this one's
actually 5 Pokemon that have come to both battles and haven't
survived.
fainted yet.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. Okay, so is this just going to be tracking strictly the number of deaths? Because diff kind of also like represents a little bit of surviving, but yeah, no, I guess if you're strictly looking at feints, then it would just be
No,
like the
yeah,
mons
it's
with the
mostly just
least
feints.
deaths and the mons with the most deaths, right?
Well, it's more about, like, for example, if the Alomomola came and didn't die and didn't faint, then it would be high on the top survivors board,
Okay,
right?
okay. So it's accounting for the number of games to the number of feints. So it's like how
Yeah,
many
so
games
the
did you
number of
show up to
games,
and not die?
yeah, the number of
Okay, that makes
survives
sense.
really is
Yeah.
is the main criteria. So it will
So it does calculate
um
that.
it will be tracking the first criteria, obviously, is the number of survives, the number of games that you came to and survived.
Mm-hmm.
The second criteria is just the number of games that you came to. So, for example, something that came to two but died once will have more points than something that came once and didn't die.
Oh, really?
Right? Does that make sense? Because they
It
they
does.
both
It
would
does
have
and
only one
doesn't. Like,
survive.
yeah, they both have
I
only
mean,
one
there's not
survive,
really a
but the difference
correct
is
way
one of
to
them
do it,
did
though.
die. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, you could cheese the category by just having him on that comes once at the beginning of the season, doesn't die, and you're like, all right, well, he's a lock for being the top of the list if everyone else faints, right?
yeah,
But
exactly.
so I
That's
understand
what I wanted to
why.
avoid.
I understand why you did it that way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So, like, as soon as all five of these Pokemon get their first faint, something that was one no or something would
so
just be locked. Yeah, like you said.
oh, this is just 1 through 10, or through
Yeah,
eight.
one through
One
eight.
through eight.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so what? How is the top loser zero faints?
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
was
see.
mostly just the way that, like, I didn't want to have to reshape the entire, like,
Yeah.
page just for one more row
Well,
of
you
survivors.
could have done the most frequent dyer, who is get killed the most, who's the most frequent consumer of revives on this team.
Yeah, that would be a lot of overlap though with,
Yeah,
like, the loser category.
just in general, yeah, probably more
Yeah,
so than the survivor category with the
yeah.
KD. All right, well,
Well,
anyway,
that's our Truant division. I think we can move on to Swarm.
here is
And
Swarm.
here in Swarm, there are actually 4 players who are 2-0 and
Defeated.
4 who are 0-2. Top inters,
Yep.
exactly, man.
Um,
Slingshot Happy
pretty tight
is
diff
helming.
range.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Yeah,
It's
like you
all
said,
within
it's
one game, except for this one is outside of 6.
yeah, and again, there's 5 people all in the middle who are between +1 and -1.
Yeah, well, yeah. Plus one, minus one. Less zeros though. There's only 1 0.
Yeah, not 3
And
this time.
as of right now, if you are a perfectly average player at 1-1 and 0 diff, you would not make playoffs.
Yep,
The
you've got to be
division
above
is
average.
too good. You have to be above average.
Yeah, it's always been like that too.
Now
We do see, unfortunately, Golden Mazda. Golden Mazda, I'm really surprised they're 0-2 right now with bad diff. Because remember, this is the team that we really liked, the Terracats,
yeah,
right?
the
Of the
Jolteon,
Moltres, Gold, and the
Who's the rest of the
Jolteon. I think we're really strong. Yeah, I like this team.
Yeah, it was a double ground with employment. Yeah, I think I actually
I didn't
rated
like
it higher than
Clodsire,
you.
but
I think I gave it an
yeah,
extra point.
because I didn't like Clodsire.
Yeah, well, and also because of the Empoleon a little bit too. I think I was giving it more credit.
Yeah. We also see Davey down here. I know that you've been kind of singing Dave's praise.
Yeah,
I think we say this every time we
I
talk about him, but
I
saying how
saw,
he's
I
just
think,
kind of always
one of
getting
the
unlucky.
games.
Do you think he's been unlucky this season too?
I think maybe I did watch both games. I don't. I remember
I think
seeing
he's just
one of
played
them.
against good players.
Yeah, one of them I remember watching and saying like, okay, like there were like clear mistakes made, or at least like if not within the game itself, but even just like in team builder, like just like not prepping necessarily well enough. I don't remember the games off the top of my head though, because we're playing in our other league too, and I know
Yeah.
his luck's been pretty bad in our other league. He got one game where it's just like missing. I think he missed a power whip snipe on a Gastrodon swap, which like would have killed it. And then he missed a wisp on, I forget who it was. It was a physical attacker though. That would have been like huge to get a burn on. It's pretty tragic. Like both of them were like great call outs, and it's just like, yeah, but what if the game didn't reward you for this? and said, here you go, you get to miss. But
Somebody else I want to talk about specifically is Corey. Corey, man, Corey, I think, is actually somebody who gets pretty unlucky, and I don't know. He's already maybe this is a bit a week three spoiler. He already played his week three battle, and
Oh, you
also
just
got
haven't
really
updated it.
unlucky
Okay.
in that game too. Yeah, we just didn't update it yet. I think he just played it this morning actually. Yeah, he played a
Uh,
Kant, and I think a Kant is a very good actually, and they know what they're doing. They've been around the scene for a while, but they're mostly a doubles player instead of singles. Um,
yeah,
so I think a Kant is
it's a
like for
strong
me.
team.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
yeah he has a great team, very strong team, and
Oh, this
he's
is
I don't know.
did he make a
I feel
trade
like Corey, he because if you remember, he was my pick for winning the division last season,
last season? Yeah.
and then
Well,
he
I
like
feel like this isn't the
flunked out.
first time he's like started slow though.
Yeah.
I
So
think
what I'm
sometimes he
expecting, I
does
think
just
he's
start
gonna
slow.
pull. I think he's gonna pull like a Roy Ace, where he kind of has a slow start and he pulls it up and ends up squeaking in the playoffs, and then is the dark horse that
Yeah.
makes a run. Is well,
Yeah, I
that
can
would
see
be
that.
my prediction. We also see Sky Knight down here at O2. He was a promotion. And Atlas is near the bottom as 1 minus 3, and he was coming from the Hustle division actually, so he demoted.
Hmm.
Tony was promoted and is kind of in the middle of the pack. We see Mudkip was promoted and is near the top. I mean, it's kind of hard
Yeah, these are like
when
within
he's one
one
and one
diff at
plus
that
two.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, from fifth, sorry, from fourth down to 12th is all like extremely close. So hard to say. But newcomers to the league, we've got Lukey, we've got Slingshot, both of them 2-0.
Yeah. Are they newcomer? I
Definitely
forget if they play in other leagues.
they play in other leagues, but this is this is their NBA debut.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we wouldn't have any like brand new people in Swarm.
Yeah, nobody who's brand new would be here. The only exception,
Bears, I
kind
think
of
so.
exception we had was last season when Glittering At was put right into Hustle
Yeah.
Division because he was like a Ranbats player but had never
Right.
drafted.
Yeah, and I think also here too, I mean, you mentioned like Glittering Atlas being towards the bottom. I think if it's week 2 and you have a win, it's like not that
You're
bad.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
like
fine.
yeah, sure. Like you could end up with negative diff from like literally a single misplay in one game resulting in getting success swept, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I will definitely wait to hold judgment there. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely more so that like
Bears.
if you're 0-2, maybe you have something to worry about. You really got to pull your socks up. If you're 2-0, you have a little bit of grace and you can make a mistake later without like missing playoffs for it.
Yeah,
Everybody at this point does need to play well, right?
and
Lukey, the
even
famed Pats
everybody
coach.
down here for sure. Yeah, I think that if you're 2-0, you still have a little bit of leeway though. You still play
Cats is
well.
the chill ass Tinkaton server, right? What a funny server.
Cats. The famed cats
Let's
coach.
see.
I thought you
Right,
said
well, while
farmed cats, like it was like another.
the famed Cats coach, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Pablo in chat is Pabby. Um, if I were to
Happy,
guess, hi Pabby.
happily.
Um, Pabby and
1 and 1
who
plus
else
one.
is
You're
coming?
above average. Congratulations,
And
Pablo.
Mazda, I think, are the only PWC folks in this division, if I remember correctly. I
Mazda.
do think that Pabby's played well, and honestly, I don't think Mazda has been playing poorly either. But Pabby has been playing well, is in technical playoff position. But both of
Woo!
you definitely have to, if you
Locked.
want to bring the PWC pride, definitely
Hold on, wait.
I think try and step
Is
it up this
Pabby?
week. I don't remember if either of you have played this week yet, but yeah, always looking forward to it.
I just ran the math through my head. I think Pabby actually clinched playoffs.
And Pabby is clinched for playoffs.
Yeah, like
They
I
might as well,
mathematically,
honestly.
I don't think Pabby
Everybody
can
pack
be
it up.
taken out. Yeah,
Pack it
Pab it
up.
up.
Pabby already won.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like
You
I
see all
think
these
that's the
ones?
first clinch of the season actually.
Yeah.
DJ Red Lantern, 1-1. You didn't like his
Yeah,
team.
true.
I think he
I
he
don't
kind
think
of
I
he had
did,
a
right? He had the
janky
weird
first
Sun team,
game.
but he changed. Yeah, he
Yeah,
traded.
he made some
Oh, he
trades.
didn't
Or wait,
trade
no,
yet.
no, he didn't
No,
trade
he
yet.
talked to me
He
about
was talking
trading
about
Springtail and
Sharpedo.
Sharpedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I remember his first game was kind of janky. He forgot to Terra the Noivern. We play without Terra in our league, so I think he just forgot. Like he said that he forgot, but I think that's why. He forgot to Terra like his Venusaur. He could have gone
Oops.
Terra Fire at the end, and he died to like another fire move. Like I forget what it was, but he threw his Venusaur away by accident. Um,
Oopsies.
and against Metro Shock, I watched this game because I talked to both of them, but that didn't help Well, I helped Harry build. I actually didn't help Metro build for that one because I said that I already took to Harry. Um, but
Some friend.
listen, I gotta choose a side.
Listen, you got
But
priorities.
yeah, but I remember that game though, and I think it was a good game for Harry. But I remember at the beginning. I'm actually talking about Metro Shock here. Like I remember talking about Harry because she's 1-1 -1. I was a little disappointed with the play from Metro on this one because I think that I don't know if it was like rushed prep or what, but like I think she made the same mistake that she makes a lot, which is committing to a win con before doing any scouting at all.
Yeah, no prep work, right? No
And
like
yeah, and
chipping,
it's
no
like
no knocking.
yeah, because I remember reading the post game chat too, and she was like, oh, like I could like if that because she missed or something, or like something happened, or no, it was like a poison proc or a burn proc that
Hmm.
messed up the sash set. And I remember
Yeah,
she,
yeah,
she
that's
said
fair.
like she's like, oh, like if I didn't get that proc, like, I think Sinistra sweeps. This was turn one shell smash, by the way. I think Sinistra
Yeah.
sweeps, and then she's like, well, unless it's like AV. Who was it? AV Bursa, I think was the mon. Unless it was AV Bursa. It's like, okay, well, it turns out it was AV Bursa, and you didn't know that because you didn't scout it,
Yeah,
and
so you
it
didn't
wouldn't have
sweep.
swept. Bursa would have come in and killed you, and I think that like I think she has improved a lot of things as a player, like with like some um patience, and especially in builder, I think she's improved a lot
Hmm.
as well. Because I haven't had to help her as much with some of the sets that she's built. Um,
It's because she just doesn't
but
like you as much anymore.
true, yeah. To be fair, I also like have had to ghost her before if I'm working, and then I forget to respond. She sends it
No,
to
Metro.
but but uh, but the no, but I distinctly remember that, and like, and I want to say. I think she still has a chance at playoffs, but that's something that I still need to see her improve before I think she can be a lock for anything. Really, like, is she needs to start scouting more and not overcommit to a win con before knowing anything about the opposing team.
Yeah. Now, obviously, nobody's actually a lock. Um, but I would have a hard
No,
time
yeah.
counting Metro out of playoffs. I'm pretty sure
Right,
she's
yeah.
made playoffs like most seasons.
I think well, because she was in Truant the first couple, but she
Yeah,
did
true.
she did make she might not have made it her first season in Swarm. I mean she definitely made the last couple times, or maybe just last time was the only other time. Um, but either way, yeah, like no, I think if this were the beginning of the season, I would still say like yeah, solid high chance, maybe even like the middle of the pack of in playoffs. But seeing the start where it's like you're already kind of starting from behind. Again, it's not a huge deficit to make up. I would need to see improvement before I think we can expect like if even if you're going to be average, you have to be slightly above average, right? So
Yeah.
um so I hope to see that.
Now, that being said, do you have any like specific players that you think will be taking the top couple seeds just after the first couple
Top
weeks?
couple
Like
seeds or just
anybody,
playoffs in general?
at least playoff, anybody that you think is like good enough that that they have like a trajectory to make play.
Yeah. I mean, I think Harry is good enough. I don't know if his team will support him enough to
True.
do it. I think if it were just a matter of skill, I think Harry would be a lock. Um,
True.
but I have yet to see the team work out successfully. I think Stella's usually pretty solid. I mean, even like we said that like Stella is 2-0 if she doesn't get frozen on the last
Yeah,
Fury
that
game,
freeze was so
right?
unfortunate.
Like
Yep. True.
Stella's a very consistent player. I think Stella's most inconsistent thing is scheduling. and,
True.
and
True.
so we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
If there are any like DQ or what's it called? Yeah, I guess DQ, right? Like a loss where you have to not. Is it DQ? Because you're not disqualified from the whole thing.
A forfeit
Forfeit,
loss.
forfeit. That's like
Yeah.
what's the right? It's DQ and
I'm
Smash
like,
when
what are
you when
you
you're like
thinking of?
no, I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of Smash
The
where you get
forfeit.
DQ like if you don't show up, right? Like you
Yeah,
just
I
like
get
drop
it.
out of the
Yeah.
bracket back. I forgot this is like over multiple weeks, so it wouldn't make sense. um, so yeah, I mean like we'll see, but
So those are like your top picks, kind of.
I think that's why I was kind of like questioning like, if you mean like the top seeds because I have no clue who the top seeds are going to be. I haven't seen enough of honestly some of like I haven't seen. I don't think I watched. Did we watch a Slingshot Happy game? I don't think we did.
Don't think so. No.
So if we haven't watched these guys, then I haven't seen a game. and unless they played something that I saw about, I don't even know. Mudkip's another one where it's like where we talked about his team being like pretty brutal. Like it's a pretty strong team, or at least the Hoopa is like insane. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mudkip up there. The only reason is like that I hesitate is because like these people are all 2-0. Like I didn't see their games, so I don't know for sure. Fairs is also so. Kyogre, stay, don't move. Uh, Fairs is another one where usually just a solid player. I think the fact that he has started 2-0 is a good sign that like even if he goes even for the rest, that like he'll still be like a contender for the rest of the season. I doubt that he would go on like a complete skid like out of playoffs. So like he's somebody that who I definitely expect to like stay at least in the conversation up here. And
I totally agree.
but,
Yeah, I think Fairs is likely to be a playoff contender,
yeah,
especially with 2-0. I don't think I'd put them in the same conversation though as a couple of the other players that I'm really eyeing, being Slingshot Happy, Lukey, and Mudkip are kind of my 3 picks. I think Fairs is amazing and is likely to, I'd say even better than just making playoffs. I'd probably say top 5 or 6.
yeah.
But those 3 plus, I actually think Akant is going to make a playoff run. And I don't want to count Corey out being O2. Those are kind of the
Right,
people
well,
I have my eye on right now.
technically anybody down here, even Mazda too, who has experience in draft. Like we don't know, like who did Mazda even play?
Anything can happen. It's hard for anybody O2 to make top seed at this point, but it's possible.
Oh yeah. If we're still talking about top seeds, it's not likely.
Yeah, I just mean like top couple
yeah,
seeds.
If we're doing playoffs,
Yeah.
No, but my point with Fairs is that like he's a consistent enough player that like, and I feel like I rarely see a major enough flaw in his building even that's like oh it's 06 like he's getting swept this game, like because there are some players where it's like they're either hot or cold, like they're either 6-0ing or they're getting 06 because they didn't prep properly. Fairs is not one of those players. So that's why I think that since he's already 2-0 plus 5, like as long as he just plays consistent, like I think he's pretty safe to end up in like the 1 or 2 wins above even. Which could be.
That's how I feel about like Dave Grigor, Sky Knight.
Yeah.
Are
which
players that I think
harder for them when they're already at the deficit.
Yeah, I feel like they win hard or they lose hard.
Yeah.
Kind of player. Even Metro, I think you could put in kind of the same.
Yeah, I agree. I think the difference is that Metro's teams are bulky enough that usually she still ends up making it a semi-even. Her team is always like the Melmetal with the Trick Room was like, if she brings that set, it's like you're getting a -3 at worst, right? Like if you die 3 times and all 3 times you bring in Melmetal and he kills something, it's like you're getting -3. You're still guaranteed losing by turn 10, but you know,
Sure,
it's but you're getting kills.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly go over the Swarm. The Pokemon leaderboards, sorry.
Yeah, we don't have to explain them all this time. So
we look at the numbers. We see non-Terra Quack. Yeah, that's just coaches. We see non-Terra Quack and non-Terra Iron Crown topping the leaderboards, which are 2 Pokemon that were just Terra banned this season.
Yeah.
Who were known like top Terra offenders, by the way.
Yeah.
And turns out they're just good because they don't need Terra to do it or to do what they want to do.
Well, you know what's really funny though? Is we saw 2 of Quack, because in this league we do it where if you die in front of the mon, that mon gets the kill, right? It's not if the hazard from something else kills it, that mon doesn't get the kill. It's the mon that's standing in front.
The hazard will get the kill because the Pokemon isn't technically in yet. Kind of like the same. It's the same justification for a Torkoal's Drought doesn't proc if it dies to rocks because it's not in play yet.
Okay.
So that's kind of the reasoning there.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say because it's funny because this Quack is topping the KO leaderboard and like it didn't get a Moxie boost in that game, despite like having this many KOs. Because I was saying because the one was the Thundy sacking on rocks though, so that's why I wasn't sure if like he got credit for that kill. But then the other one was the toxic Suicune that died in front of it.
Yeah, true.
So like it's just kind of funny. It's like leading KOs didn't get a Moxie sweep. It's just
there's also
it's just there at the right time.
There's also the Sandless Terrorless Excadrill too, which again was recently Terra banned.
I think Excadrill is just a solid mod.
Yeah,
like, I don't think it needs.
A surprise for me on this leaderboard is Mega Banette. from Dave Grigger. I
Yeah.
think
Well, I
it
think it was
came
one game.
once
It
and
was
it
one
just
game. He
got
got
3
3
kills in
kills.
one game. Yeah. So I do think this will petter out. I don't
Yeah.
expect to see
I
Bannett's
agree.
performance stay top
Well,
10 for
especially
very
one of them's
long.
a Destiny Bond kill. So like that also like
Yeah.
is less consistent as the season goes
Yeah.
on. It won't be doing it for the whole season, right? Like
Yeah.
eventually people will catch on if it keeps
Yeah.
doing that.
Now, for the Terra leaderboard, once again, we see Terra Gardevoir.
Gardevoir, yeah.
Where have we seen this before, right? Um, so I actually think it was the same like Scarf Terra Fairy Moonblast
Yeah.
set that Panziska ran, and even said in post game like, "Oh damn, like maybe this shit is actually pretty good. Maybe
It's
they were
pretty
onto
good.
something." It's pretty good. We see Terra Tran, we see Terra Rillaboom. Kind of expect to see these guys up in the top.
Yeah, these are all
In my
solid.
opinion, they're some of the best
I'm
captains.
surprised that the Mesprit has as many. I guess it's only 3, but I was like because it's just, this is more of a support one.
Yeah.
Um, Conkeldurr. Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting into the range where it's like, okay, this mon like gotta kill. Like it doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I don't think the Terra captains in this division have been putting in as much work as they have in other divisions, where we see Venusaur, who's 1-1, is in the top 10, right?
Yeah,
It's
Truant.
now there
Truant's
are
had
only
2 as the
16.
lowest one shown.
Keep in mind there are only 16 Terra captains, so you will see more than half of the captains on this list, right?
Yeah.
Just because there's 10. But the fact that number 10 spot is a 1 kill 0 diff Pokemon, it's like, okay, this definitely will be filled out a little bit more in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of these low tiers. I do know that Beware has put in a lot of work for low tiers, and I know that Bannett might not stick around for the like overall non-Terra leaders, but it might stick around in the low tier leaders at least a few weeks.
Oh yeah, because it's on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because the low tiers would really need to like get multiple kills.
Yeah, Chargerbug got a kill. I think Electros got a kill. I don't remember a Shuckle kill, so maybe it did. Maybe it just got like a Rocks kill or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's probably like Hazard or something.
Yeah.
Or
We see
maybe it was
Mega
in front of
Blastoise in the
something
mid
that died to
tier.
Toxic.
Meowscarada, Conkeldurr. Yep. All right, that's good.
Okie
Okie dokie.
Megas, Metacham, Bennett's still up here. I mean, this will probably change. It's already tied with a couple others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to see Metacham up there. I'm not surprised to see Diancie. Aggron could kind of go either way, where sometimes it's just like a defensive piece, and sometimes it's a big threat. And I think Mudkip is using it pretty well. Kind of same as Blastoise. I think Fairs is using Blastoise pretty well. For the losers, I'm not surprised to see. And I know that it was putting in work in the replay that we watched against the Gliscor, but 0 kills in 2 games, a 19-point captain or whatever, maybe 18-point captain or Mega is yeah. And once again, a Mega Scizor that we see not getting any kills.
Venusaur's the honorary loser. Not doing anything.
Yeah. For support, we see the Terra Mesprit, we see Corv, Sylveon, Sinistra, Talonflame. I think those are good ones. Is Sinistra Terra? I don't remember. No, it's not, right?
It wasn't it? Or is that
it's not in this division? Because Mudkip has the Terra Hoopa. Right. And Sinistra can't captain.
Definitely couldn't do it with that because it's 10.
Yep. In the losers, Jirachi's the only one that's 0-2.
Which is surprising because Fairs is 2-0,
surprised.
Which means that it must have done something right.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to see Klefki down here. I do think Klefki is
really
kind of
kills.
It just doesn't get kills.
I guess
but comes pretty
spikes
often.
could get kills, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Usually you're chipping people down anyway, and for somebody else to get the kill.
Funny enough,
for the nasty plot set being at -1, it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Like an offensive set.
For the defense KO leader, we actually see a negative diff Gastrodon here with just 1 kill.
So that's kind of prioritized that because it actually got a kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Got 1 kill.
So anything else, that just means that there's no other defensive one that have a kill, that have more than 1 feint.
Or there's other ones later than G in the alphabet that are exactly the same as Gastrodon here.
True. And then we see the only standout here in the defensive losers are Feeny and Pharaoh.
Feeny could be. I guess it depends on how you play the Feeny.
I feel like Feeny should probably be a support as well as a defensive, maybe either or, but that's okay. It's still represented.
We have 2 total, and if it's just gonna be a duel between these
And
ones.
Charge-a-Bug on top, baby. Do you think
Charge-a-Bug
Titanol
came
ever gets a kill?
well. It came to a game if it died once, so clearly it's not. It's not out of the question of being in the team builder. So
Yeah.
it's
And
possible.
we have 5 Pokemon with 2 survives with Latios, Gardevoir, Rillaboom, Sylveon, Great Tusk. And then
Oh, two
for
yeah.
and then for weather, we've
I was
got
confused again, but I was like, wait, I'm still. Why is this
yeah,
still
those are
here?
still the
Yeah,
leaders.
it's 'cause it's still
Sorry, I kind of
okay.
skipped weather. Um,
It's just roaring
we
moon
do
again.
see the Arctozolt and the Screamtail. The Arctozolt just kind of unfortunately switched in on the Fire Blast and just
Yeah.
instantly died, and now it's a loop.
So when you
But like Roaring Moon,
filter,
Excadrill,
when
yeah.
you have this list filtered, do you have it? Are you like having it look at the data and saying like, if this mon has X ability, list it here. So like, you're looking for Sand Rush, Photosynthesis, all that, or are you just choosing ones that have that? And telling it just okay.
I just honestly made
Just
a
like
big
made a
list
list. Okay.
of like things that I would consider this subtype.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
anything with
wondering.
photosynthesis, anything with like a weather related ability, um,
Yeah. I'm just
even
wondering if
like the
it's like,
Slowking, etc.
yeah, Slowking I agree because at least he's setting it. I would just be curious if like 'cause I guess the list is probably the same across all of the divisions, and it would be too complicated. Like check if each team has weather. I just think it's like it's a little less interesting when like the leaderboard is just gonna be Roaring Moon, who probably isn't even on a Sun team, right? Like
Yeah, Moon
on
is just
every
going to be there
division,
every
like it's just
season.
gonna be up here.
I
And Exeter,
I
I know
agree.
in this division happens to not have sand, but I still think of him as more of a Weathermon. At least like for all you know, you could just run manual sand on a Mon in a
Yeah,
game where just Exeter just destroys, right? But Roaring
yeah,
Moon is like, if you're not on a Sun team, it's not a Weathermon, right? It can't even run booster energy. Like, it's not even using photosynthesis. Like, so
true.
I would personally maybe say to take Excadrill off the list. I mean, not Excadrill, take Roaring Moon off the
Roaring Moon.
list. But
Yeah, but then like Gouging Fire's got to go. Great Tusk is
well, Gouging Fire's on a Sun
at the
team
same
though. It's the
time.
difference, and that's why it's like it's kind of
But
you
like,
know,
um,
it
I'm not
depends on
gonna
like
do
you
all
don't
those
want to go and
checks.
check
Like,
every single one. So,
yeah,
but I think it's also fair to just say like, yeah, maybe not the Paradox Mon specifically because we're not putting there's
yeah.
nothing for terrain KO leaders, right? For like the ones
No.
that are
Yeah, so
future.
the Quark Drive kind of gets
Yeah.
shafted when
So I
like
yeah
Mega Garchomp is a Weathermon technically because of Sand Force.
right
So it's like things like that that it
yeah.
does feel kind of
But it's okay because he's a weather KO loser
untrue. It's
because
fine
the
then in
sand
that
hasn't
case.
been set for him, right? Like it's
Oh. Okay, there was one trade in this division that I guess we can talk about quickly. It
yeah. Who
was
was it?
Corey traded, let me check.
Oh, Cricketune. Yeah, you brought in the
Corey
Cricketune.
traded Clefable for Slowbro.
Okay, I
So
went.
gaining Slowbro.
Yeah, I when we glanced at this before, when I was like, oh, this is kind of a decent team, and I was trying to remember like what was the big weakness? It was because it didn't have a or it didn't have an ice resist for all these like, like your steel wasn't or no maybe no he does have an ice resist.
Well,
It
it
was
wasn't a
so,
water type.
it wasn't a water type, yeah, in general, I guess. But either
Kind of
way,
wanted like a water type
we
pivot.
wanted a water
Now,
type here, and I was
Clef
like,
is
oh, but there
fine.
is one. So that's why I was like, oh, is this the trade that was made? Did he get a Slowbro?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember who's there or not. I'm surprised that
Yeah, I
Slowbro
mean,
was
this is good.
available, honestly. Like after
Yeah, well, now
the
Clefable's
draft was over.
available, and I'm surprised that's available.
Yeah, Clefable I'm less surprised about because I feel like you either like using Clefable or you don't. Whereas like
Yeah, I feel that. I
Slowbro
really did not
is
like
you
using
can
Clef.
convince yourself that you need a Slowbro in a way that like somebody just won't convince themselves that they need a Clefable. You know what I
I
mean?
really came around on Clef though. Like I hated
Oh,
Clefable up
I like
up
Clef. Like
until
I'm a Clef believer, but
I
I've
hated it
also
until I
seen
used
it
it
last
though,
really
and then I
long in
used it and it was
drafts.
amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
not even saying that these people will be unsuccessful with Clef, but more so just the fact that like for whatever reason, it's like maybe because there are a lot of fairies, but like people will tend to be like, oh, I can get like a mid tier fairy or something, whatever. It's just you don't see a lot of people like settle on the I like this clef solves all my issues where they wouldn't just be like I'll just cheap out on the fairy and get something else more expensive.
yeah, yeah.
I think with the slow twins, both Galar and regular, more teams just happen to like look at that and be like, this is the piece that I need, whether it's you need the water type from these or you need the fighting resist from Cloaking. It's just for whatever reason like they're like, I'm much more surprised if Slowbro makes it through a draft undrafted than I am if Clef does. because usually people just got different fairies because
They
they didn't want
gobble it
to use
up.
clef.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to spend
I
like
agree.
16 or 17 points, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, that was the trade.
I
And
think
I
it's a
think
good
that
trade.
does it for Swarm as well. We can
And
move on
that
to
was
Hustle.
from week 2 to week 3. So it has not. So Corey hasn't played a game with Slowbro yet.
Well, Corey has played this week. It just isn't
Oh,
recorded.
right. Okay, but this record does not show Slowbro being on the
Correct.
team. Okay, yeah. So I think that yeah, like we were talking about Corey like being somebody who can turn around. I think that change is a big change for his team. I think that can
Yep.
very much turn it around.
Yep.
All right.
I
Next
guess
up.
while we're talking about trades, we can go into Hustle. And just while I have it on my mind, the only trade that happened for Hustle was Martin Radkow. We talked about his team pretty. He
Is this
traded
the
Salamence
dragon
for
team?
Mamoswine. Yes. So minus Salamence plus Mamoswine.
What dragon move does
Um,
Jirachi have? I forget.
this isn't. No, sorry. This isn't the dragon team. This
Oh.
is the team that had 3 dragons.
Oh, it was just the team that was dragons. It just
Yeah,
happened to be
it had
dragons.
three dragons that
This
were
is
all
the
4 times
Imagine
weak to ice.
Dragons team.
Yes. So you don't have to worry about ice for Garchomp and
Yeah, that's a good
Hydropple
point.
and Salamence and Mandibuzz. It gives you an ice resist. It gives you a second ground type for Chomp. I quite like it.
And a ground type that obliterates flying types, right? So
Yeah.
it's one less thing that Chomp has to worry about.
Yep, agreed.
Now, granted, they both kind of don't like the steel flying types, but whatever.
They can muscle through them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a steel flying that Chomp can't beat, honestly.
Really, Fire Fang. Lock it in.
Just hit him with that Fire Blast, dude. It's so good.
True. So okay, that was that the only trade in
It was the only trade in the
in
division,
Hustle?
so
Okay.
we can talk about the standings now.
All right.
We see Davo Wolf. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
it
think
looks like
I've
some
seen...
games are recorded here because there are 3
Oh, that's
games.
not bad. Whatever. Who cares?
But
Here, I'll just go delete them quickly.
Okay. So I'm just curious how many undefeated there were before. If these were 2 recent losses.
Which ones are marked right now?
Lee, Rice,
Lee Rice. That's it.
which maybe they played each other. So I guess if they played each other, then one of them was undefeated and is no longer. Should refresh. Oh, you haven't done it yet. There we go. Okay.
right.
Okay, yeah. So
Pretty
Lee
good.
was undefeated, and then that was his first loss. But
sorry,
previous to
as I
that,
was saying,
it's the same as Swarm, where they have 4. They had
Yep.
4 undefeated, and then.
Now the bottom end for diff wise is much lower. We see Kung Fu Panda
Yeah,
actually
2
minus
nines.
9 and Drix minus 9.
7.
I'm very surprised. I know that Kung Fu Panda is somebody who the PW guys were. Oh, this guy's gonna smurf and hustle. He needed to be all really good. He's gonna, I don't know, kind of school you guys. But I feel like maybe the pressure's getting to him, where like his friends are
Hold on, how many times did the Garbodor come to a game?
definitely 0. Yeah, I think
One.
his friends are probably putting a bit more
lied.
pressure. Oh, it came crazy.
And it got -1 diff, so expect to see
And,
it in the low tier losers list.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know, just hasn't been able to hold on to the kind of standard that's been set by his peers. Something else I'm surprised by, Drix, 0-2
Yeah, after
with
getting the
extremely
free
bad
trial.
diff. Yeah, Drix got the free trial and did pretty well. He topped the Swarm division last season. He had a pretty good Swarm playoff run. Drightwake says he hacks him game 1. True, I forgot
talking
that you
about
actually
Kung Fu
played
Panda.
Kung Fu Panda week 1. That's kind of funny that it was 2 of the PWC guys.
Is Vios
but that's
a
actually
PWC person?
Yes, yeah. So that's
literally
actually
his
really
first
funny.
2 games are against the other PWC people. So
True.
maybe not
So-
all that all that we think.
That's
to that,
hilarious.
To that record happens to be that he
Yeah.
played against
So
the other
he's-
people.
He's still 0-0 against NBA, at least. So
True, yeah.
he's got that going. Luke Newcomb,
So he still will find it.
I'm kind of surprised is down here. He just won the Swarm division
So
last season, and then drafted that weird kind of rain team that nobody really cared for. I think he was one of the lowest rated
it
teams.
was overall. It was like 5 point something, I think.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so I would feel pretty badly for Luke if he got demoted after he got promoted, just because he kind of wants to. Maybe he's feeling burnt and he just wanted to play a fun team, and now he's getting kind of punished, and he'll just get thrown back to the Swarm jail, and it just kind of feels bad. So I hope he can pull it around.
I think he also should acknowledge that if that is the plan, where it's like he just wants to run the fun team, like surely he has accepted that if it doesn't perform well because it's a bad team, like, and he gets demoted, like it's like I personally wouldn't like feel bad as long as he knows that like that why this is
Oh yeah,
happening, right? Like he
yeah,
chose
for
to this
sure.
team. It's like sure, yeah, it kind of sucks. Like on paper, like if you just say like oh promoted then immediately demoted, but it's also like he's aware, he knows that the team
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
great,
he
like
knows he's not dumb.
and yeah, so that's why like I'm not surprised to see him there with that team,
Yeah,
but also like yeah, I would only feel bad if he were actually like trying his hardest, and it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that that worked out. But I
yeah,
think as long as he's having fun, I don't know if he would also even care if he got demoted if he's that burnout. Um,
yeah, true.
but yeah,
Something else to note.
that is like the bottom three. Diff is tied or tied or worse than Swarm
Yeah.
at -7.
Mhm.
So
Martin Radko down here as well. Again, that is
recent
I do hold Martin
promotion.
in pretty high regard. But then, funny enough, we also see 5 players again between like one diff of each
Yeah,
other near
zero.
the
Well,
beginning, from
actually,
0
four
to
people
-1.
tied. 4 people tied at
Four people
-1.
tied is crazy. Yeah. And actually, in those people is somebody new to the NBA. Is Strange Name.
Strange name, yeah.
Is I mentioned them before. I'm really excited to see them. This is the person that's on like Team China in the draft
Oh
cup,
yeah,
and like they're pretty highly highly touted. I don't remember the word.
highly regarded,
Highly
highly
thought about.
touted.
Highly
That's I think
regarded.
both of them.
Touted? I don't remember.
Touted's correct if you want to
Yeah.
say that.
Like I was saying before, but I never really finished. I don't think I've ever seen David Wolf not at the top in like the top quarter of whatever division he's playing in anywhere. I feel like he's the kind of player who just plays up to being like he plays to where he is, right? So if he's
Yeah,
in like a low kind of skill
Alola.
place, he'll like play kind of I don't want to say play low level because he'll still be doing well there, but like won't be playing as well as I think
Yeah,
we'd see him here
right. Like you like
playing really well.
lose to weird things, right? That like he probably
Yeah,
wouldn't. Yeah,
but then we see him here, he plays really well, and I have a feeling that maybe in the future, if and when he gets promoted to All Stars, he'll be a good player there as well,
yeah,
right? And just like is no matter the setting, always at least a good player wherever he plays.
yeah.
And that's something that, well, first of all, be a good player, but also just be a really good sport too. And I love the way Dave plays just in and off the battlefield, right?
However, first place does not belong to him alone.
Yeah,
Get out of
Royce
here,
Snover,
Kyogre.
another
Keep dragging the Kyogre over.
another player that he's been up for promotion for so long. He's always been doing really well. He just beat, I believe, Glumly last week in pretty convincing manner. I think his Raikou actually got a lot of kills. I expect to see it on the table.
Must have been pretty convincing if the Glum is 1-1 and negative, right? Like if that loss
Yeah,
was, and then he got up to +8.
yeah.
Um,
Leezy, I'm not surprised. Leezy, I
yeah,
think, was my favorite or one of my favorite drafts. Extremely simplistic style and just really succinct and good at what it wants to
yeah.
do.
We did lose a
Um,
game. The
yeah, he
suckers.
did lose this week. Kind of spoiler. We might be watching it next week. Who
We already
knows?
saw the spoiler.
Um,
It's
yeah.
on there.
Vyaz here. Yeah, Vyaz and Drightwake being the other PWC guys that aren't Kung Fu Panda. And funny enough, both of Kung Fu Panda's opponents are both doing pretty well. And I know that Drightwake's only 1-1, but
That's
he
because
has
they're win
a really
trading.
solid diff. True, they're win trading. They're making bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being
And
1-1, but a really
Lux.
strong diff is a pretty good look.
They're trying to crash
Honestly,
our
I
economy.
I would expect to see both of them at least in the playoff race. I know especially Vyaz being 2-0 has an advantage there, but I think they're both really strong contenders. We see Afonso here as well, who's again on our PGP roster. Him and Eager are
Yeah.
our hustle
Alfonso is like the
representatives.
SSS plus tier team.
Yeah, crazy. I think he was actually the highest rated team in
Yeah,
the league.
turns out he's completely average.
I expect Afonso's team to do a lot of work for him, and I think
Yeah.
he will be a shoe-in for the playoffs.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I also
Um,
actually just kind of think the current standings, like these top 8, I could see just being the playoff. Like, I do think that Kung Fu Panda can and will make
Yeah.
a good run for it. I can see Matayoshi and Glumly making a good run for it. I'm not sure on Rice. Rice has the Unova team.
Oh yeah.
And
That's one where you
Eager,
hope to
he's a
see it
wild
like
card.
get a couple wins, right?
Yeah, Eager is a wild card, where I
Granger,
wouldn't be
Kingdra,
surprised if he did well.
there we go.
But I think he's the kind of guy who shoots himself in the foot. I
Yeah,
do think for PGP, he'll
he's
be a
just
lot
like
more
me.
responsible because he'll have people like holding his hand and making sure that he
Yeah,
doesn't do the stupid stuff. But my players to watch this season, I'd say Wolf, I'd say Vyaz, I'd say Strange Name, and
probably Kung Fu Panda. I'd be curious to see how good Kung Fu Panda is
yeah,
outside
and I
of
wanna see how Kung Fu Panda
hopefully better
responds to
than
the
Kung Fu
0-2
Panda
start.
4, the movie, 'cause that wasn't very good.
True.
I do want to
Okay.
point out though.
Yeah.
So Dre, who's in the chat,
Yeah.
he's 1-1 +3. However, he did hacks Kung Fu Panda 4 in the game that he won.
Oh, so are you saying he should be
So
0-2?
is he carried by hacks and really he's an 0-2 player?
Oh, he could be.
Sound off in the chat, Dre. Would you like to defend yourself? And as you do that, we'll move on to leaderboards.
Yeah. And we do see there in the KO in the Terra KO
The Greninja.
is the Raikou.
Oh, I was gonna say that the hacks
Oh, right.
Greninja.
Yeah, yeah. There's the
Straight
Gren.
away.
We do see so the Nihilego Kai Guy got a straight 6-0 with Nihilego in his
Nice.
first game. And then Raikou, I believe, just straight up killed 5 against Glumly, or maybe he was 4
Damn.
last week. Leezy's Diancie, base Diancie, doing really well, unkilled. Vyaz's Terra Crook, unkilled. So those 4 actually together are probably just the top of the Survivor League as well.
Yeah.
And Zoroark hasn't died yet either.
Yeah, anything that's like perfect diff with KOs is
Mhm.
probably prime real estate for the for the survival
Yep.
list.
For non-Terra, it's a lot of the same ones we usually see. This is the first Mega Scizor that's doing anything. This Mega Scizor actually just hasn't fainted yet.
Oh, there it is.
We see Komodo with 4-4, a really good Roaring Moon, really good Greninja, really good Ghost. I mean, these are just the expect to see up here. Even Gouging
Yeah.
Fire, Gallade.
And Lee, I think
Again, the usual suspects.
Lee is the only one up here that has 2 Mons, which means that he has a balanced team.
It does look like that, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
at least in the regular one. I didn't look over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Dave has 2 in this.
Both of
But Lee
Dave's
also has 1, and
Terra
Morse
leaders,
has
huh?
2 here.
Oh, wow.
But one of them's 2 KOs plus 1, right? Like it's a small
Yeah.
sample size.
We see Screamtail in the mid-tier leaders.
True. I wonder what it did.
Let's go.
Maybe it put rocks up.
I don't know. Well, it would at least have 2 kills because it's above Articuno.
It's got 2 kills.
There you go.
2 kills plus 2, so it hasn't died either.
Sweet. All right, let's
Then
scroll it over.
Yeah.
We've got
It
our
is
mega leaders.
Clefable.
Hey, like I said, finally the first Mega Scizor that's kind of pulling its weight, and then some. Mega Gallade, Mega Chomp, Mega Diancie, Mega Lopunny. Not too much to be surprised of here. I am surprised that the Mega Altaria didn't get much done when it came. And the Manectric and Autono, I'm surprised that they came at all.
It might have 1 kill and 1 death. I mean, and 2 deaths. But
Yo, Rice is back. Welcome back. We were just
Rice
talking
is
about
back.
your team a little. If you want to go back a little.
yeah, we
Press
said
the
it was
left button.
bad.
I don't think we did that,
I don't think we did either.
but it is.
Shit. What did I just see? Oh, it's actually the next section. I'll wait. Yeah, I think not really much to say with the losers yet. Like, if you've come to 2 games and died, like you're just gonna be at the top of the list. Like, even if you win.
Yeah,
the games.
yeah, exactly. I do think the losers specifically is that's the kind of field that is more likely to be populated with relevant info by the end of the season.
Yeah, but also,
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be overpopulated with Mons that just come to a lot of games.
Yeah,
Right, because you can die and not
importantly-
win, whereas you can also like win a game and not get a single KO, right? So like I feel like
Yeah.
those are more like tailored to the specific mon, where it's like, oh, like he actually got a lot of KOs, he actually had to do something. Whereas just dying a lot could just mean that you came to every game and you were just necessary to secure a win. Oh, whoa, we got
Morgrim is the only one.
It really was the best team in the league, I guess. I mean,
Wow,
he's
great
just
job, great job,
uncontested.
Morgrim. Yeah,
Crazy.
Also awful job,
0-0.
Weather
Crazy.
leaders, it's the same things, except we see Arctazol. Or sorry,
Roaring Moon
sure.
is back, and Scrimchill.
Yeah.
And look at these losers.
And for losers, we have a negative Drill,
the
a
Landers
negative
who cannot run
Lando.
Sheer Force, so he is therefore a Weathermon.
Yeah, technically it's a Sand Force Weathermon. And same as Great Tusk.
Yeah. This is what I was.
And then
so you said that like you would expect these ones to be at the top, like the Survivor. Well, okay, are Terramon's not included on Survivor list?
They are included.
I don't think they are. Oh wait, Raikou is.
The Raikou is right there.
Wait. Oh, games. I was thinking that was kills for some reason.
No,
So
the
like,
kills
well,
don't
like,
matter.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like. I was looking at the list, like, wait, seriously? Why aren't the mons that have 6 kills and 0 deaths here? But it's
Yeah, so like Nihilego only
Yeah.
came once, right?
Yeah, I see.
Now, it just so happened, can you scroll over a little to the right a little more? Yeah. It just so happens that there are 8 Pokemon who've come twice and not died, which is kind of crazy.
Is that
so like
exactly
the
the amount?
Nihilego and stuff, exactly the top 8, yeah.
Wow.
Which is pretty funny. Now, we do see that it's only the 2 players who were 2-0 who have accomplished that, right? So Royce, Vyaz, Leezy, and Dave are the only
this
players
list
who
probably
were
also
2-0.
changed. These lists probably also changed after that game.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure at
We
this
don't
point
know the
Zapdos
spoilers
Galar
for
has
those.
fainted. But yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, crazy though that there's already 8 Pokemon that are unkilled in 2 weeks. So
Yeah. All right.
And there was a trade. Oh, we already talked about the trade though. That was
yeah.
the Ments for Mamoswine. So yeah, I think we can just go on to All Stars.
All-Star.
And I think there's only really one thing that I'm super
Undefeated.
surprised about, but even that I can't even really say surprise is Bunhara being undefeated after 2 weeks is just pretty good. I mean,
I'm not
Bunhara,
surprised by that.
how
I'm
did-
surprised.
How did
by
how did
this.
Bun do last season?
She ended up
I'm
like
not too
high, like
surprised
I think at the same, like she was definitely in playoffs. Or wait, no, maybe I think the hustle. Either way,
Let me double check.
I am not surprised that Bonhara's here. I remember I want to say that last season we were like, oh, Bonhara's like kind of like not a trial, but like this is like somebody who just recently kind of joined this upper echelon of players in the league.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like keeping an eye out, but then she ended up like overperforming. So now I think it's just regular performing if she's doing well, right?
Maybe. I mean, she won Hustle Division last season.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was hustle.
So it's just that it's a promotion that's already.
But I think she was like in
undefeated, right?
Swarm before Hustle, right? Like, because didn't she move up to Hustle and then win Hustle and then got promoted again? Or was there a season in between?
Yeah,
that
so
was
she
weird?
moved to Hustle when the All-Star split happened. When we took like the
Originally.
top Swarm players and we basically just made the new Hustle the top Swarm players plus the good new players. And then yeah, she won that last season, and this is her first All-Star season. She's been in Hustle before, I believe, when Hustle was like the top division, and I think got demoted. I might be wrong, but I think that is what happened. Maybe I'm thinking of Alice. I might be thinking of Alice there.
Maybe.
But they're basically the same person, you know?
Basically.
Like Alice is just British Bunhara if you think hard enough.
Oh God, is Atlas British?
I think so.
Oh no. Oh God.
Soon she'll move up from All Stars. True, I agree.
Oh yeah, down here. Yeah, I mean deserved for being British, I think. All right.
Atlas is no, that's Atlas, not Alice.
Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice. Alice is British.
Alice isn't
I
playing.
knew that. I knew that Alice was British. Okay. I thought you said Atlas. I was like, Alice is British? What?
No. No, Atlas is East Coast.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I was in Hustle for a season and did like shit. I think I was pre-split. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you either got demoted from season 4 and would have been Swarm season 5, but then there was the All-Star
The
Hustle split.
happened. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and maybe
Yeah,
because
we definitely like we weren't like high on the Bonhara train in that Hustle season that she ended up winning. That's what it was, because it was that season that probably she would have been demoted. So we were probably talking like oh wow, we're surprised that she was doing so well right now because like she's like 3-0 or whatever. I don't even remember what the records were, but because
Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
distinctly remember being like, oh wow, we're surprised that Bunhara is doing this well. That would make sense if she was on the demotion chopping block, if not for the split, and then ended up
Yeah,
winning
and
the
then one.
division. Yeah, but that's why like now though, since she's already surprised me once with that season, which makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now I'm just not surprised. Now I'm like yeah,
Surprise me
okay,
once,
that's
shame on me.
yeah.
Or no, was it shame on? I don't remember how that goes. Surprise me once, shame on you. Surprise me twice, shame on
You
me. Is that
can't
it?
get shamed again. Or you can't get.
Uh,
That was like the George Bush one. It's like fool me once, shame on you, or
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't get fooled
Okay,
again.
so
So-
she's clarified in chat. Was Hustle season 4 did badly, would have been demoted, but because of the split, stayed Hustle, which is
yeah,
like technically a demotion because she didn't move
didn't
to
move
All
up with
Stars
the
with the
rest.
rest
Yeah,
of Hustle. Yeah,
because really there
and
weren't
then
many
just
like
one.
new people in All Star. It was all just like Hustle shifting up
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
most
pretty
part.
much. Yep. Yeah, I am kind of surprised that Zap is this low, but I didn't really like Zap's team.
Yeah, I think that we were not
And I
super
think
big on it.
Zap preps in a really weird way that I can't really wrap my head around, honestly. And it's hard
Can't really
to
zap
say
your head
that it's
around.
like good or bad. It doesn't resonate with me the way that he preps sometimes and the way that he like so
Well,
I can't
wait,
say
can
that
you
I'm
like
like
describe it? Because
super
I
surprised.
don't know how he builds.
It's I mean, you saw in that game, right, where he just kind of disrespected hazards and just
Yeah,
kind of like
he did like
laid
pretty
he
standard
did
spreads for EVs.
did things that seemed good but then didn't have a backup. And I feel like
Right. Okay, that's fair.
people who are better than him, and I'm not saying that like people are just intrinsically better than him, but I think people who are better than him will win against him all the time. But if he's better than you, he'll win against you all the time. And I think he's had
He has
two
the
really strong
Rambat's
opponents.
brain rot where he doesn't have to make his team.
Yeah. But so his opponents so far have been Zard and Riceman. And I think Zard is somebody else we can talk about as well. Zard did really well last season in Hustle
In Hustle,
and
that's right.
has
Yeah,
more than earned his promotion. He's doing well so far. I mean, he only lost.
I think he got a job too.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's had a couple jobs actually.
Probably. It
Yeah,
seems like
he's been
it's
like
always a
in and
top
out of a
one.
bunch of different. Yeah. Let's see who else do we see here. I'm not surprised. I mean, Azzy and Riceman, it's a tale as old as time as them being at the
Well,
top of the division
you say that, but
and then losing
it's
in
just a
finals to
stupid
Overmat.
Kyogre. You say that, but Riceman, I feel like the last couple seasons has started like 0-2 or something weird. We're like, wow, Riceman,
Yeah,
why is he
actually,
starting
that's
so
true.
poorly? And then he always comes back and then makes it to the
Yeah,
playoffs. But I just think it's funny.
and
It's like
then
a tale as old
gets
as time. It's like I don't know. The last couple of
yeah,
seasons,
that's
we've been
actually
like,
true.
what the fuck is going on with Riceman?
But the script is flipped this season, where usually Overmat is the top of the division.
Yeah, Overmat's
Riceman is
team
like at the
sucks.
bottom. I know, but then Riceman brings it up, barely gets into playoffs, and gets matched against Overmat like
It just
round
knocks him
one,
out. Yeah.
just for Overmat to make it to finals and beat Azzy in the finals.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the season for them with Overmat not having a super strong team, and me, your reigning All-Star champion,
Hmm.
not taking part either. Maybe this is one of their time to win All-Stars finally.
Will that be every division? Did Riceman win Hustle? Or
Riceman
no, Riceman was never
won
in Truant. That's what it was.
Swarm. He never was in Truant. He
Yeah.
won Swarm when he
He
took
won Swarm, and
over
I think he
a
won Hustle
drop.
too.
I don't think he ever won Hustle.
He didn't win it
Actually, you might be right. He might
because
have.
after the first season that he was in Swarm, he's been in Hustle every other season. I think he has to have won at least one of those seasons.
Let me check. Riceman, where is he? Is he offline? Yes.
Oh, you're looking at his roles.
He won Ledian Cup and he did win season 3 Hustle.
Yeah, so because that was right after the Swarm season that he won.
Yeah.
So because I
Yeah,
remember he
you're
did
right.
those back to back, and we're like, oh, he's got to get the Triple Crown and go win Truant, but then we added All Star.
Right.
So now he has to win
Yeah,
All
yeah,
Star, and then he can go down to Truant and get the
True. Yeah.
quadruple
If he
crown.
does win, you're right. I did forget that he won. Yeah, if he does win, he would be the first player with 3 division titles.
Yeah. Actually, well, Alfonso could win
Plus an off-season
Hustle.
title.
Couldn't Afonso win Hustle and get 3? Because he won. Or wait, did he win Swarm?
I don't think he won. No, he skipped Swarm, remember? Or no, sorry, he skipped Hustle. So yeah, he could win that now.
Yeah, because he's in
Let me
Hustle
check
now.
here.
Because he's won
Yes.
Truant. And
Yeah, he won
he did
Truant.
win
He
Swarm?
did not. He did not win Swarm.
Oh, okay.
But then he skipped Hustle and he was sad. So here you go. Here's your chance in Hustle.
Yeah, and then you have to
But
go back. You have to win Hustle, but then somehow get demoted back to
uh-huh.
Swarm, and then win Swarm, and then skip Hustle again, and then win All Star. That's the route I think he has to take.
Okay, what else? We have two PWC guys. They're both 1-1. I don't think there's too much. Like they're both 1-1 with like very neutral records too.
Yeah, everybody's in the middle. So I think this is the most 1-1-0s of any division.
Actually.
And actually, it's the only one that
let's
doesn't
see
have
what-
like a couple +1s, a couple -1s. It's all zeros and then a -1. Is that like 1 point range that we talked about?
True.
So still probably like a similar number in within 1 point, but again, it's week 2. I mean, that's pretty expected, I guess. We got Zeb at -10.
-10 is pretty rough.
But we also
who's Zeb
hated his
played?
team. He was the really weird team that we did not understand, and he played
It's really hard to
Raceman
rate.
instead.
Those are two good
Those are
players.
hard matches. Monkey Boy's a free
And-
win, so like we'll see if he gets the free win, and if he doesn't, then we can essentially say he's
True.
cooked. So
True. He actually got 6-0'd by Sidarius too.
damn. And then Raceman is
Um,
like arguably the harder of the two to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a joke about Monkey Boy being a free space. He actually is a good player when he like preps. That's kind of just the problem. Is I think he's inconsistent
He's 1-1 plus 4.
in season. Yeah, I mean that's good. He's a good player. And
Tied with a 2-0.
like he's very reliable when it counts. I just don't think he holds the regular season with as much like urgency
Yeah.
as he does things that
He
actually
just kind of
matter,
gets
which
into
is
the
completely fair.
playoffs and then tries.
Yeah. We have Overmat really hanging on with a right now.
1-1 minus
I
2. But
do
he did
feel
make
like
the
as
free
the
agency
season
trades,
goes,
the grace period
yes, he did
trades.
make trades which we can talk about shortly. But yeah, really hanging on to I think pretty mediocre team. I do think the changes to the team really do help his cause. We can talk about because he made a
It
trade
was
last
really
week.
bad.
He also made a trade week 1 as well.
Yeah, he had the
So we
free,
could even
which
just
we
talk about
kind of
both of
talked
those.
about on stream because like he came in chat and told us what he changed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
At least for the grace period trades, if that's what you're talking about.
Let's see what else do we have. I'm not
As
too
he
sure.
Here. I think he's driving.
Yeah, he's probably still driving.
Yeah.
We have Monkey Boy,
do you want
Suzu,
to like make it
Zard,
sound like the
Jortson,
doc's
Fennec.
fucked up and it says as he's 0-2, so he like panics?
That would be funny.
Yeah, Dan, it kind of sucks to see Azzy at 0-2. Like you'd think he'd be a better player, but I guess
that's
he's
really
just not.
unfortunate. I would have expected more from him, but he's letting
At
me
this
down.
point, I wouldn't. I think he's just bad. Like I think that's
Dude, you'd think I'm his father with how much he's letting me down.
I thought you were his father before that. He has your
Maybe
eyes.
just based on what he calls me.
True.
We get in a game and never mind. I'm okay. I'm done.
Hold up.
Okay, what else do we see?
though? Like there's
Skyhops is 0-2. I didn't expect Skyhops to go 0-2, but this is such a tough crowd that you really.
I think Skyhops had.
Somebody's got to go 0-2.
Though.
You know,
Or no,
somebody's got to go 0-2.
It was Overmat's win.
Yeah, that's right.
And Gensuzu.
And Gensuzu, I mean, it's just two strong players, and everybody who's 0-2 is just losing to two strong players.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes you just get unlucky.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get the wrong side of a matchup. This All-Star division is really stacked, honestly.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what's crazy is I was looking at this before. I was like, oh, Monkey Boy has 1-1 plus 4, which is the same as a 2-0. There's another there's two players that are 1-1 plus 4, and then another one that's 1-1 plus 3. Like that's like a really good diff for 1-1.
That's like
I
a convincing
guess the
win
+3
and a
is like
close
more
loss.
average, but yeah, but still this is like I think +4 is more like a really good win and like I would say a really good win and a convincing win, which maybe those are similar. But like a close loss, I would think it would be more like the +3, +2.
Yeah.
Then you're like staying the average.
Overall, I think my players to watch this season, I think Zard has one of the better teams in the division, and I think he's got a good shot at least making playoffs. he might. I don't want to say get nervous, but like there's just so many good
Wait,
players
sorry,
that
who was it? Who was it?
Zard.
Zard. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm cutting out. I'll lean forward.
No, you didn't cut out. I just completely missed it. Like I heard
Okay.
you say it, and I just like zoned out. I was like, wait, who did you say?
Yeah. Baby Dragon Zard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think his team is still one of my favorites, so I'm excited to watch him. I'm not convinced that he's a lock for playoffs. I think the obvious ones for playoffs, it's really easy to just say the two O's like
It's really
Riceman,
Azzy.
Azzy, Banhara.
Well, Azzy's O2, remember?
Oh yeah, true.
And also bad at the game, so definitely not a lock.
Yep. Yep. But like when you have a lead at the beginning and you just win 50% of the rest of your battles, which I feel like everybody in division is capable of winning 50% of their battles, you just
Well,
need
like
to play
with
hard.
Fairs too, where it's like
Yeah.
maybe if he started 0-2, you would think he's like not as likely, but like the fact that he started 2-0 and just has to kind of like win half of your games is like a really good sign. Now,
Yeah.
to kind of go back to what you said before though about like anybody who's 0-2 lost to two really good players, winning 50% of your games is sometimes easier said than done as well in a division like this. Like you can't take
but they're
any
here for a reason.
game, right? Yeah, but it's also like I mean you can't take any 50-50 record for granted too. Like you still have to like put in the work to
Yeah,
get it.
and if
Because these
every
guys
game
like
is
everybody's gonna be chomping at the bit to like get a shot back at playoffs if you've dropped down here. Like
yeah, for sure.
like nobody's a free win except Monkey Boy. He's already in the top half. But it's nothing's a lock. I mean, this early in the season when the variance is literally 12 mons worth of games for each team.
Yeah.
So
And if you just count every battle as a 50-50 coin flip and just say everybody is very good, it's 50-50 even if you're the best player in the division. You can lose two coin flips in a row.
Yep.
Right? So just because you're 2-0 doesn't mean that you're set. Obviously, that's the same can be said for every division.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've already won two, so I mean,
it still makes it easier.
Yeah,
sure.
it makes it easier. You only have to win 2 out of the next 6 coin flips,
especially
right? Which is
especially being over a full sweep of diff as well, like from
yeah, that's really big.
Like from zero basically, is really nice. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's check the leaderboards here.
Yeah, let's go.
I want to wrap it up a little bit soon because
yeah, now you got to get going. So we see Monkey Boy's Kartana, number 1 non Terra leader,
and also number 1 tank, right? You put him under defensive, right? No, what?
Yeah, I definitely didn't. Yeah, can you scroll right a little?
Oh yeah, we don't need coach on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we do see a good mega.
Oh, you're cutting out a lot right now.
There's another good Mega Scizor.
Oh, no,
half of them are good and half of them are bad.
True.
I mean, Gouging Fire, Garchomp, Mega Diancie. It is kind of the same usual suspects that you would expect to see here.
3 here, which I'm wondering if. No, maybe that's more standard than
I think it's around the same in every division.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know why I thought it was. Yeah, it's literally 3 is the.
Yeah, exact same. So nothing, I think, too much to speculate on there. The Terra leaders, though, we see Arctivish is up there.
Yeah.
Articuno had a really strong game.
We kind of like didn't love the Arctivish when we were.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that great, but I mean, here we are. I guess I'm always learning and willing to be proven wrong.
Good top tier.
I do expect to see Articuno probably just at the top of the low tier division.
Yeah.
I
mean, Terra is really
pretty much the whole.
Here's Arctivish too. Like, Terras are always going to dominate because this is like the only place that they are now, right? Like we don't have that many high tier Terras left. They're all
true.
crowded down here.
There is like Terrakion, Ceruledge, Gengar, I believe, are Terra.
Yeah, I wonder. Okay, this might actually also like kill the lower tiers because there's not enough representation. But I wonder if filtering out the Terra captains from down here would also be a good idea. It doesn't matter as much here because we still have like a decent amount of other stuff, but like actually, yeah. But I remember
if we take out low tier Terras,
one was a Terra captain.
Yeah, if we take out low tier Terras, I feel like there's none left.
Yeah, there's
none
not
that are bringable, you know.
Yeah. But just because they're not going to be in the voting anyway, or like the Terra captains aren't, so.
Bunhara's Lycanroc performed really well, and so did Riceman. Both of Rice Excited to see
Yeah.
them
Oh, that's another Terra Captain.
continue to kill it. And yeah, I
Cold
don't
Ultra's
think
also
there's too much
Terra
else
Captain. And
surprising
that's
here.
also, actually, these are all Terra Captains.
True.
Um,
Oh well, onwards.
Megas.
We've got megas, camel
Yeah, we should probably filter
conventions.
mega evolutions out of this category. I think they kind of dominate a little bit too much.
Yeah, any mega that can Terra, I think we should take out. It's not
Yeah,
fair.
true, true. Or
Yeah.
what if we had the category that's mega KO leaders, but it's Mons that can mega, but like or the version that isn't the mega version that was drafted. So just like regular super, regular DNC.
True, regular Blastoise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbed mega, lost their stone.
The most interesting thing to me in the mega category is just Camel Convention's Mega King, and we've talked about it before
Yeah.
in our roster reviews and stuff. And he's actually holding up to, or he's holding the
Well,
Kangaskhan
it
to
is
what he
only
says that it does, right?
2-0. Like, so we have to
It is,
still see a little more.
but I mean
I
that's
think.
still good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
And
I've always been
people were
open
talking
to
about
it
it.
being good. So
Yeah, people were talking about it at the beginning of the season, and it's just he's not shying away from it, right?
yeah. We do have
For
two
support,
negative
no
diffs
surprise.
in the
Yeah.
KO leaders.
No surprise that we see like Mesprit, Terra Mesprit, we
Mesprit,
see
yeah.
Mew, Togekiss. Like, there's a lot of psychic types in the support, which is pretty funny.
And your least
And once
favorite
again, we
mon,
see
Klefki,
Klefki.
dying twice.
Yeah. Defensive, we see Articuno, Garg. Both of those are Terra captains.
Yeah. But
I think
I
Garg
don't
is
know where
Terra at least.
Cortana is though. It's kind of weird. Like he should be. He is 5 kills,
Yeah,
right?
true. It is defensive.
Yeah. Defensive
This poor
KO
Gudra.
losers.
Yeah, poor Gudra and Hippo. I actually am not
Slow.
too familiar with
Dude, they're brothers.
Hippowdon's performance. And true, two slow bros back to back.
Losers. What were you saying?
Nothing.
About one of these three? You said like
I
don't
was talking about Hippowdon.
Yeah, I think were you?
Yep.
All right, we'll move on.
I finished saying what I was saying.
Okay. It sounded like you were still talking. I like interrupted it with the thought with the slow bros.
That's okay.
And this is the most filled out NFE bracket we've seen.
True.
There's
Two of them have a KO.
only one overlapping mon.
Oh, true. So I guess that means there's just 9 NFEs drafted.
Yeah.
The Slowpoke was just picked up at the end of last week.
And he's a loser.
And he's a loser. It was actually picked up by Fennec, who dropped Simisage.
All right.
And I guess this is a good
loser.
way to transition into
The trades.
We can come back and talk about the weather stuff, but yeah, the
There's
trades
no
that
wrong
happened. No wrong one, crazy.
Yeah.
The
do we
trades
really
that
have to say
happened
much
for
more
All-Stars.
about any of these? Honestly, I don't really. I think we can just.
Well, I mean, there's a Stoutland, there's a Drillbur. I mean, what do you mean?
But for weather, okay, let's do the trade. Who was it?
Okay.
Fennec.
So it started with Zap trading Jirachi, Comfy, Toxicroak, and Kingler for Archaludon, Porygon 2, and Terra Venomon. So I believe
Okay, I didn't
Comfy
think we
was
talked
one of
about
his
a
Terra
Terra Venomon,
captains.
so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a trade.
Comfy was his Terra captain, but he dropped it. He dropped the Jirachi that had the Meteor Beam.
Oh, after that game that we saw.
Yeah, and a couple inconsequential mons. And he picked up the Venomon, the P2, and the Archaludon. I think P2 is good to give some extra pivoting. The team was a little bit too free to be switching in like your Dragonite and Rush to be the only pivot. So I like P2 for that.
What I don't love is that this team is kind of weak to knock outside of literally Mega Gallade.
Yeah, and even then it doesn't like taking it. It is overall. But anyways,
I guess he's neutral.
Trade,
he's neutral. Yeah, it's just that he doesn't get him knocked.
Yeah,
but like you don't want to get
that
knocked,
trade though
opened.
That trade opened the way to the trade that Overmat made, where he dropped Sylveon and Slowpoke for Comfy and Terramuk. So Zap's
Terramuk's kind of cool.
Yeah, so Zap's Comfy has landed on Matt's team.
Interesting.
Sylveon's gone, which does mean that the fairy isn't quite as dependable. Yeah. But Comfy is a pretty good, pretty sturdy. It's definitely serviceable. Most important is that it has defog. This team's hazard removal was only Silvally, which can't run boots. It can run boots, but it's normal type. And he got a grounded poison for T-Spikes, and he got setter with Muck as well. And it's very bringable. I think overall this is an improvement.
Cool.
But Matt dropping the Slowpoke meant that Fennec could then drop Simisage for
Woo!
Slowpoke. Let's go!
I would have liked to keep the Simi Stage. I think I gave Fennec an extra point for the Simi Stage, so I'm gonna have to take a point off the team now.
Yeah, 1 point away. Goodbye.
I wanted to go back to Zap's team. So yeah, the Knockwind is kind of weird, and also he doesn't have a fairy resist. Am I wrong? I mean, like the Venomoth is the only fairy resist because his steel is neutral and his fire is neutral, and he has a Dragonite and a Mega Gallade. Like, so I don't know how much I like
Yeah, I
dropping the
do.
Jirachi.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I think Jirachi was a good pivot that he's now missing
I
for
would have like
Archaludon, so
rather
I
seen
guess
the
he kind of went neutral.
Archaludon go away instead of the Jirachi because you already have a dragon, and then the
We
Jirachi's
just
like
picked up the
actually.
Archaludon.
Oh, he just picked up the. Was that a swap from Jirachi to Archaludon, like exactly at the same points, or was it like
No,
points had to
Jirachi's
work around?
more. Let me
Okay.
double check. It was. Oh, he had extra points though, so it was just Jirachi for. And then it was a bunch of mons for P2 plus Venomoth.
Yeah, but using those extra points because now he has
Yep.
0.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he looks better down here, and it was worth it. I don't know if I like just swapping Jirachi to Archaludon when you already have a dragon and you don't have a single fairy resist on your team. But
Yeah, it is tough. And this is the kind of thing where I think if he's better than you, he'll just like bring
are
sets
you
that
saying that
run
Zap
you over.
better than me?
Yeah, I am
Yeah,
saying that.
probably.
But if and when he just brings better sets than you and just runs you over. But then this is also the kind of thing that I think a really good player will capitalize on the inaccuracies on his team
Yeah.
and the like deficiencies on his team
I mean, it's
and
still a very
force him and like
strong
strangle
team.
him into a bad match, right?
Yeah, these are all very strong mons, so you have to like respect. It's just like so like
Oh,
that
of
like
course.
the semantics of like that weakness. It's like yeah, maybe you get like Scarf, Terra, Fairy, Gardevoir. I don't know if that exists in this division. Just moonblasting your entire team. But at the same time, you have these mons.
Yeah.
that will be really
Okay, we
good.
just have a little more to talk about on the leaderboards, and then we can
Yeah, I
wrap it
think it
up.
was just
There was
the
the
weather. Yeah, the Drillbur. You're right. There was something to talk about here. We got a
yeah
Drillbur.
Drillbur and Stoutland.
Drillbur alert.
Those both came to the troll match between Jortson and Azzy.
Oh, that's why they had to go.
Yeah, so they kind of just I think it was like banded Drillbur and banded Stoutland or something, and they just kind of smacked something and died.
I brought Banded Drillbur to a low tier. We
Nice.
did a low tier one before Lady and Cup.
I am surprised to
I brought Banded
see.
Drillbur once.
I am
These are
surprised to see
decent
Sandy
attacks, though.
Shock solo. Slitherwing's doing pretty well. Usually you'll see like the Roaring Moon and stuff there, but I mean
Yeah.
Arcfish is
Well,
taking the
is
spot,
there a
and
Roaring Moon drafted?
I'm sure. I'm sure that All Stars wouldn't let that pass.
Yeah, unless I wasn't sure if it maybe got like traded around.
Yeah,
as
as he
one
has
over the
it.
trades. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he got like Drillbur got one of the kills, so like that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Azzy only brought it to one game, and it survived, and it didn't get a KO. So I think he just didn't need it. I think Gengar
Yeah.
just kind of killed a
just
bunch of
won
stuff that
without it.
game or something. I don't remember. Oh, that was the
Yeah.
game that Arctic. So Roaring Moon
Oh,
didn't get
yeah.
any of the fame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And
I'm
then
gonna say with
yeah, he
Sandy
didn't bring
Shocks,
it to the troll game.
I didn't watch the Sandy Shocks games, but Sandy Shocks can just be a support mon. So supposedly just
Yeah.
died, but wasn't
Yeah,
like trying
it's
to go
good.
for kills. So
Yeah. And then there's 3 more Pokemon that are also unkilled. So
oh yeah,
2 games, 2 of Rice Man's Mons and 1 of Azzy.
cool. And then top survivor. He's his top survivor. He's a defensive mon. He didn't get his glory in defensive
that's how it
KO
counts.
leaders, unfortunately, because he was shafted. But
Because 1984.
yeah, literally 1984.
Yeah.
But here he is, still getting ripped.
Thank God, dude. We need our Kartana representation.
Yeah, it would be very unfair if not.
Yeah.
All right. That's basically
Well, I think
it.
that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah. That's all we got for you today. Thank you once again for hanging out. If you made it this far, especially, thank you for chatting with us. I don't know who's around still, but if you're still around, just send a bye in chat or something. I know Bunhara was around, Drightwake, Rice, Pabby. I don't know, maybe Stormtide or Azzy are still around. Azzy, if you're on and you're still driving,
Oh, watch out!
I'm
Watch
gonna
out! Watch
need
out!
you-
There's a deer.
I'm gonna need you to send a message and crash your. Sorry, don't do that.
Yo, whoa, sure, get out of the way.
Watch out for the deer. But as Mario plays us out, thank you once again for joining, and we'll See you next week.
Bold of you to assume that